No. These dumb crackers is the worst in internet.
Yeah.
Well.
Worst 30 seconds in YouTube history.
Sorry.
Ever. I mean,
Ever.
forget YouTube.
Okay.
Ever. Trust me, man.
Ever.
I have seen it all. This worst 30 seconds in
Is the worst.
It's the worst.
Ever.
Yeah.
ever.
In the world.
And
In the whole world.
by the way, when does the shark show up? I've been watching this live stream waiting for the shark to show up for like 5 damn minutes, and it's just 3 stupid ass white dudes sitting there
The shark
talking
will
shit.
show up when it wants, and none sooner.
Great
You
white
son of-
fury.
You son of a bitch.
Write down that episode title right now. Great White Fury.
What?
Oh, hey, Internet. This is the dumb shit we usually do before we push go.
We did it backwards this time.
Now we have to talk about how he enters the room.
Yeah, we do. Well, we don't have to do that anymore.
What?
Great white fury.
Well, I don't even have to listen to the rest of the show to figure out what the title is. It's right there.
Well, like that.
Wow.
Super.
So I have to ask, did you plan the Shark Week and this movie, or does that just happen? It has to be. It's serendipity. You did not plan that.
What,
No,
Shark
you
Week starts next?
You didn't. Don't.
Does Shark
I
Week start
moved
next week?
Yeah, I moved Samurai Cop and this one so that it would coincide.
Okay. All right.
Well, ain't you just a
I'm all
smarty
about
pants
that.
son of a bitch?
Synergy.
All right.
You know?
I'm going to give that one to you. Well played.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Welcome.
You're plumb welcome.
You're so welcome.
Y'all come back now, you hear? That's for the people leaving, and they're like, what the fuck
Yeah,
is this
now that
shit?
we have just pissed off everyone.
Yeah.
Hi. Hello.
We don't have to do that voice the entire time, Chuck.
Why?
Well,
Why not?
you can do whatever you want.
Stop.
We're practicing our Pat Buttram impersonations. We're going to try out for a new Crane Acres.
Oh, man.
We are dumb.
Yeah.
I'm hilarious. Shut up. Chuck.
Sorry.
If
What
that
you
is
talking
your-
about, Chuck? We is a hoot.
Yeah.
A plum hoot.
Hey, y'all.
And a holler.
Oh, man.
We are both.
We are a hoot and a holler.
We are laughing.
Man.
Who else in the chat?
Nobody.
Y'all.
Now that they've started listening, they're like, nah, I got better things.
Nah. Nah.
Nah.
Nah.
Just nah.
Nah. I ain't gonna listen to this.
No.
Nah.
Hey, hey.
Nah.
Goodbye.
Yes, goodbye. Why are you spinning? We dropping any frames?
What did
or
we
anything?
decide we were calling this thing now? This is a challenge coin? Is that what it is, BJ?
Yes.
Challenge coin. Like, I challenge you to take this coin from me?
No.
Come on.
I will not fisticuff you.
Come on, fist cuff him.
Fine.
Cuff his fists.
I'll cuff his wrists.
What?
Saucy.
What?
Saucy.
What? Ah, Philip Fitzroyce and Royce Fitzphilip.
There you go. Why have you taken a shit, Internet? Whoa. What's going on, CNN?
What? Why are you what? What's happening?
Why you what? Why you what?
I don't know. You were talking about the internet, and then like,
My internet's gone stupid.
Things happening.
My internet's dumb.
We are not dropping any frames. I think it's your internet being dumb.
Do I need to reboot?
Maybe.
Well, why don't I do that?
Reboot, scoot, and boogie.
I'm gonna reboot.
Ooh-wee.
Y'all don't start without me. I gotta reboot.
Nah, man, we're starting the live stream right now. Let's go.
No.
You've gone back into full Ray now. Oh no!
Oh no!
God damn it, Archer!
What the ass?
Son of a bitch, my legs don't work again.
This damn cyborg arm.
Oh, good. Here we are.
Ah! What are you doing?
What are you doing?
I don't know.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Hey, BJ. You up?
Yeah, girl.
Mackie is on assignment.
Continuing assignment.
Continuing assignment.
Mackie is not dead.
Yeah. He's summering in fortnightly.
Castle Fortnightly.
No, it's just fortnightly.
Oh, okay.
That would be redundant to call it a castle as well. Yeah, hanging out with Kira, and also
Nightly.
Jeff. I believe there's a Jeff Knightley that is similar.
That's you, Chuck.
I know. I'm trying to make it. I'm trying. I rebooted and then it started going.
All right.
Shit. Huh. Computer. There we go. All right.
He probably is on the news talking about burning CDs again. Thanks for following our weird YouTube escapades.
Yeah.
No, now he's talking about burning DVDs.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
It's like,
Timely.
hey, did you guys know that you can put your own
Yeah.
movies on DVD?
Dude, if you want, you can totally fucking steal movies now. This is sweet. I don't know if you've heard about this news.
No, we're not interested in that. We just want to hear about you burning your own DVDs, please.
Well, you can put your own home movies onto this DVD here and then put it in a DVD player.
Yes.
And press play.
Good luck finding one.
Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't download a DVD player, would you?
Yes.
Yeah, I would if I could.
Yeah.
I would. I would totally download a DVD player.
Well,
Considering they're about $9 at a gas station now, yeah, I'd download one.
so this isn't like, proper show worthy, but I will say, like, among my many, like, I've had a lot of weird celebrity encounters in odd ways.
Mm-hmm.
Like well, I was just saying, like, not like
Darmok and Gelada Tanagra.
yeah,
Am I
no,
right?
I'm saying like
Yeah.
I have met or been near celebrities in very awkward and weird scenarios, and Lou Gossett Jr. is on this list.
Okay.
Oh, dear.
And I don't know why. Like, it's not weird that he was doing it. It's weird that, like, why someone was like him and this. I was at Disney, and for some reason he was like reading "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" in like this really small stage area, and so you could go and sit and watch Lou Gossett Jr. like read "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." But it was like
I'd go watch that.
yeah, and I did too, because I was like, I'm here, and that's weird enough that I'm gonna. It'll be
Did
a
you
thing.
catch the whole thing?
Yeah, well, it's not a very long story.
I know, but I mean, like you.
Yeah.
I assume that's one of those things where you could just accidentally walk up on it and be like,
Sure.
that's Lou Gossett Jr. reading The Night Before Christmas. I gotta watch this.
Yeah, I mean,
you
Yeah, no,
might miss it on the program,
yeah, it was weird. Like I said, it was just like one of those things. I was like, all right, like, sure, let's go do this. And it was at Epcot specifically, which is even stranger.
So that was the future of
It was
storytelling.
it was the future of storytelling. Yeah. So
All right, he is a BMFcast alum. He was in The Punisher.
Yep.
We've never done another Dennis Quaid movie, though, right? Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I mean,
he's in The Day After Tomorrow, which is the best movie of all time. That's true.
and G.I. Joe: The Rise of Cobra.
Oh yeah, we that was yeah.
That movie's like long. The movie's like 2.5 hours long.
Yeah. He was in Footloose. We talked about that one time.
Yep. But he has this weird like arc where it's like I'm in good movies, and bleh.
Yeah. I think that's when either the cocaine is in abundance or when it's all run out.
Sure. Yeah, it's not looking.
Yeah, no.
Not looking like we've done a. Yeah, this is it. Ooh, we could do Caveman.
Caveman is something else. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
That. Yeah.
Yeah. Still, I say, I mean, like that. I think that's the biggest crime in cinema history is that Dennis Quaid never played the Joker. I mean, I guess he technically could now, still, but
So when you say that, like,
just like naturally, look at his smile. It's a fucking Joker.
Yeah,
smile.
he has a Joker smile, but like, do you want him in place of like Jack Nicholson?
That's the only weird thing is like I wouldn't give up the Jack Nicholson Joker.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know how you do that and make it work, but because I mean,
Could you do it now, like as an old Joker, like get an old Batman and?
I suppose like I could see, like if they continue down the Batfleck thing and they decide to like let's finally just fucking ape Dark Knight Returns,
Yeah.
and make him old Joker that way, I'd be all right with it.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, his low, but his like his generally considered crap second second wave there for like almost directed video. I mean, they were in theaters for like a week or two, but, like Legion and what the fuck was it? Pandora. I'm like, I like those weird little movies.
Yeah,
they were fun little movies.
They were, yeah.
They're like not technically good. I mean, they're entertaining.
Oh, I think Pandora was sort of
Pandora's actually pretty good.
neat. It just rushed to its ending real quick, like,
Yeah.
and now with this, and you're like, oh wait, no,
Right. No, I like that weird like almost direct to video era of Dennis Quaid.
yeah, yeah.
I own Pandora on Blu-ray because like it was somewhere. It was like $5, and I was like, I haven't seen this. That's like a rental here.
That's generally when I buy a Blu-ray.
Right.
Huh.
I need to watch that again. It's been a long time.
Guess we haven't had a Leah Thompson movie either.
Yeah,
She's done a lot of garbage.
yeah. Back to the Future movies.
Yeah, fucking garbage. She did a movie called Mayor Cupcake.
Yeah, I mean we've purposely avoided Howard the Duck. I think we've steered clear of it.
I was sampling video of that the other day.
Right.
Just checking out my Blu-ray, and I
I'd
was like,
say I mean like top of the Leah Thompson, bad movie podcast stuff is probably right there. This is a close second, probably.
I'm starting a Leah Thompson filmography rewatch podcast.
Nice.
Can I join you on that?
Nope.
Oh,
Just going to be me.
okay.
Is it going to be called the Leah F. Tomcast?
Wow.
No, I
That's-
will not have Paul F. Tompkins on another podcast.
All right.
Not that I've had him on any of my
Sure.
podcasts, any of my two. I claim both of ours as mine.
Oh.
Oh, isn't that nice?
I didn't know you were using colonial rules.
Check your shit out.
I think I'm the whitest
Okay.
whitest person, so.
Sure. Why not?
We could maybe do Space Camp.
Ooh, Space Camp. I've been actually really dying to rewatch Space Camp.
Yeah. I'd like to watch it not being 3 months after
Exact-
the Challenger
Well,
exploded.
I'd like to watch it not being like fucking like seriously like one of my earliest life schemes I think was like how can I go to fucking space camp?
Yep.
I was like what can I have to like how many yards
Give
would I
up
have to
TV
mow
for a year?
Like yeah, something. I was like what the fuck do I have to do to go to space camp? Because I was like number one thing I had to do and I was like I guess I'll settle for watching the VHS instead.
Sure. I guess that makes sense.
And then they like actually went to space and I was like well that's cool and then like shit went bad and I was like maybe not the space camp thing.
Shit went bad. Whoops.
I guess shit didn't really go bad. They were in space and ill prepared for it. It's a team building exercise of the nth degree. That's not a very good tagline for that movie, but that's
No,
how I'm summing it up.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Alright.
should we make a podcast? Have we bantered long enough?
Yeah, that was a lot of
A
banter.
lot of banter?
Yeah, we bantered a good bit.
That's plenty of banter.
Banter.
Now let's banter for another hour.
Well, let's do it officially. Let's banter about one thing.
No.
Jows?
One thing.
No.
Some jows?
Yeah, jows.
Jows?
Jows. Jows.
Alright, let's make podcast. Which number are we on? Oh yeah, let me put some things up here first.
God.
Dun,
But ow.
dun.
Pew pew.
No, that's all you get.
Oh. Are we sure it's 3:30 before you still have your hands?
Pretty sure.
Okay.
I don't check these things. I just add to the number of the one before.
Okay, well, I think we're fine then. How are you?
Boring conversation anyway. All right, welcome to the BMFcast.
Hey,
BMFcast.
Episode 330.
Woo!
So many numbers.
It's a 3 and a 3 minus 3 is 0.
Follow the money. Illuminati. So I'm Harlow.
Mackey's on vacation. I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And what we do each and every episode of the BMFcast is we go ahead and we watch ourselves a quote-unquote bad movie. Come in here and talk about it for the first half. Then we rate them. Good bad movies, enjoyable bad movies. They get 1 to 5 jocks and robot jocks.
Robot jocks.
Robot jocks.
Robot jocks.
Robot jocks.
Ooh.
However, there are bad movies. This is stay away. They get a negative sliding scale, 1 to 5 bags and douchebags after Twilight.
Boo.
Boo.
Gross.
Boo.
Poop.
So, sequel month is...
It's over.
It's over. This is it.
Yeah.
This is the last one.
The final chapter.
Until we do sequel month again. The sequel month.
Sequel month 2.
So, because, we like synergy. We're all about that when we can do it.
It's showtime, Synergy.
We did Jaws 3D in 3D the week that Shark Week is starting. Or, I guess next week is Shark Week.
Yeah, Shark Week starts next week.
We're this is your precursor to Shark Week.
This will warm you up.
That means Shark Week's starting for me too, because I think we're in sync.
Yeah, well, I say live every week, every week like it's Shark Week.
Okay.
Yeah, but
why don't you explain to the people what we actually do here?
what now? Did I miss you?
No, I'm kidding. Read a plot description.
Why are you telling me what to do next? This is so weird. What is happening?
I'm trying to get us out of this cycle of jokes.
All right,
cycle. I get it.
Fine. Let me tell you all about Jaws 3D here. The sons of Police Chief Brody must protect civilians at SeaWorld theme park after a 35-foot shark becomes trapped in the park with them.
Yeah.
I mean, trapped in the park with them sounds a little disingenuous, but it's not like he's running around, checking out the shows.
Yeah.
They're not trapped in there with them. They're trapped in there with me.
He's not on a golf cart riding around.
Right.
I want Hawaiian Punch.
Yeah. Candy Graham.
Yeah. There's none of that. Yeah. Jaws 3. We're working backwards. This is the prequel to Jaws 4.
It is. We were so lost.
Yeah. Yeah, so we needed the back origin story.
We basically needed the Brody kids to age back about 5-10 years.
Yeah.
More,
and also not have the same backstory they have.
None whatsoever.
Yeah. 3 and 4 are unrelated, just like 1 and 2 are unrelated to 3 and 4. So,
sure.
Whatever.
It's Jaws, man.
Yep, it is.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Now, so there's interesting things happening in this movie. They give credit to Peter Benchley for inspired by the original Jaws.
Suggested by. Yes, the novel Jaws.
But then one of the writers is Richard Matheson.
Uh-huh.
Acclaimed sci-fi, badass writer.
Yeah.
Wrote fucking Jaws 3D.
Yeah.
So, among other people, but that's a little wacky.
That's a little strange. It's a high pedigree for this garbage movie.
Yeah.
So,
but otherwise in the cast, you got Dennis Quaid making his first appearance.
Yes.
Somehow on the BMFcast. Mm-hmm. He's actually, really, we say that. I mean, he's made some garbage among some things, but he's actually got a pretty solid filmography.
Yeah, it's
not a lot of fare that we would have run across.
Yeah, not necessarily expecting him to ever come back,
right.
But who knows?
You got Lou Gossett Jr.
Yep.
Louis Gossett Jr.
He's been here before. He ate some pizza in The Punisher.
Yep. And I don't know, Bess Armstrong.
She's a lady who
she's the main lady in
acts.
this. Yeah, and Leah Thompson.
Yeah,
pre Back to the Future.
Yeah.
There's some other people in it, but that's the main people.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah. So this movie, have you seen Jaws?
I have. Yes.
It's got it's got Roy Scheider in it.
Jaws does. Yes.
Yeah.
It's got a shark.
Shaw's
got Richard
also
Dreyfuss
has
in
a
it.
shark in it. Yeah, Richard Dreyfuss.
And there's a shark that attacks. Well, they made that 4 times. This is one of them.
This is the 3rd time they made that.
Only this time in 3D.
Yeah. Which we...
3Ds. Right.
The people will love that.
Yeah, they will.
So gonna love that.
Yeah. Yeah, so we watched it in 3D.
We did.
Yeah.
After some difficulty, as usual.
I believe, is this every Blu-ray copy of it?
Yes.
The Blu-ray copy of it has the 3D copy on it. So if you have 3D capabilities and you own Jaws 3 on Blu-ray, surprise, you have a 3D copy.
Yeah, surprise.
It's under the special features and mentioned almost nowhere on the entire cover.
No, just on the back where it says, the bonus feature, Jaws 3 in 3D,
right.
That's dumb because it was in 3D originally. That's the movie.
Right.
It should be Jaws 3D. But, yeah, now it's become a bonus feature.
Right. I'm just... I'm saying, like, you may not even know you own a 3D copy of this movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even the cases, like, they usually brand them as such, like Blu-ray 3D. That's not even on here like that. This is a total afterthought. Which is a shame.
When was this released?
Last week.
Okay, yeah. Nobody cares about 3D anymore.
Okay, well, maybe that's it. But still,
have you seen any advertisement that says anything about 3D?
Just the Marvel movies.
At the theater, like every movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still trying to ride that wave, that cash cow.
Sure.
But
get $4 extra.
Home 3D, nobody gives a shit anymore.
No, I guess not.
They haven't in probably 6 years now.
It's weird that I've come around on it.
Well, here's the weird thing is, like, it may actually come back around again, because I'm wondering if the technology that's in your Blu-rays is going to allow it to translate to VR headsets, because that does 3D technically as well.
That would be cool.
Nah.
I'm saying, like, you pop the Blu-ray into your computer that already has a whatever.
Oh, that has an
headset,
old 3D copy.
or your PlayStation. You put on the headset.
Yeah, let's say PlayStation VR comes out.
And suddenly you're watching a Blu-ray. I'm saying, like, can they take that technology and plunk it into the VR world? I don't know. I'm just saying it may not be totally dead yet. If that's not already dead, thanks to that Time magazine cover.
Right.
So
yeah. Anyway, Jaws 3.
Yeah, Jaws 3. As it says, it unfortunately for nowadays takes place in SeaWorld.
SeaWorld in Orlando, Florida.
By the ocean.
Right by the ocean.
Which
only 50 miles away from the ocean.
Uh-huh.
But don't worry about that.
Yeah, don't worry about that. So yeah, it's like SeaWorld's under construction basically, or part of the attractions are still kind of being
They're
worked
building
on.
more cool stuff.
Yeah.
Like they've had their Shamu show, but they're building like underwater.
This feels like the soft launch of a SeaWorld.
Yeah.
Like we're like, hey, we got some shit. We got dolphins that do tricks and things, but doing flips and shit. But,
wouldn't you like water skiing shows and an underwater bar?
And to answer the question, yes.
Yeah.
Everything about this theme park, except for the orcas swimming in their own shit, is fucking awesome. Because
if they would be courteous enough to dig a 50-mile lagoon, into Orlando,
sure,
so that they could have plenty of space to run around in. Sure.
Yeah. But I mean, this features such underwater attractions as you get to basically like go inside some sort of leviathan, like a giant sea creature of old, where it's like you will now get to experience the insides of one of nature's grandest killing machines of all time, and like it's this big like literal set of jaws that you get to walk into this tube.
Yep.
And then the whole thing is like this cheesy underwater like cave haunted house bullshit with tentacles that come out and like things that look like eels that come out of holes and scare kids.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, this is fucking awesome.
Yep.
But I've been to SeaWorld and it's not like that at all.
It's not there. Yeah.
So yeah.
So there's a bunch. Okay, so Dennis Quaid is part of he's like an engineer. He's building the park.
Right. He's building the tubes and the pumps and all that.
Yeah.
All the like the foundations of the park. His girlfriend, Bess Armstrong, Kay in the movie, is like the head marine biologist.
Yes.
And Lou Gossett Jr. is like, he's the head of SeaWorld, but
he's
the way whomever told him how to play this part is very strange, because they were like, he's playing it almost like he's like a 70s blaxploitation pimp, but like in charge of like SeaWorld is like his brothel. Like it's weird. Like it's his stable, because like
the way he acts,
his mannerisms, and like the way he treats everybody is just like, hey baby, why don't you like take care of that? Pew pew, yeah. It's just like, how'd you rise to be manager? Like
it's strange.
It's a weird direction he was given, but whatever. He's probably like Michael Caine. He's like, fuck, you're gonna get what you get. I'm getting a fucking boat after this.
Yeah. Yes. He's supposed to be Cajun, I believe, because his name is Calvin Bouchard.
Oh.
And so every once in a while he'll kind of lapse into, Cajun accent, but for the most part it's just flamboyant and outgoing and just whatever the fuck pops in his head he's going to say. And his tactics in the management of the park will change wildly from one scene to the next.
Sure.
Like he's
fun. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying,
he's fine. He's just a blob of a character. He's just however the script needs him to mold into, scene to scene is what they do.
I mean, Dennis Quaid is like practically a blank slate. It's like, hey, you're good looking, run around and save people and do engineering stuff.
Yeah, you're blasé hero man. Right. Do things.
So yeah, I mean,
and smoke a lot for some reason.
There's not like a lot of character development going on, other than it's let's show. I mean, the credits. Let me back up, because like to start with, the credits of this. We watched this shit in 3D, and the credits take
dope.
every bit of awesomeness that you could possibly have in 3D and cram it right in there.
Yeah.
Like the logo comes out, split apart into Jaws, into your face, and then goes Jaws 3D chomp.
Yep.
As it comes together and makes the words.
Yep.
And it's pretty dope.
Yeah, and all the titles are
yeah.
flying out of the screen.
Yeah, they're all like Superman font, but in 3D.
Yep.
So like they're coming like at your face.
Yep.
And all the while, like they're showing you this. Apparently, here's the crazy thing: is like this SeaWorld water skiing attraction feels like another old Orlando thing, like the thing they used to have at what was it,
Weeki Wachee Springs?
Yeah, Weeki Wachee. Yeah, but
Because
like,
they also didn't they say something about mermaids too?
probably because they were probably just like we can film over here and have them do this shit and it'll look good in the movie. Because like I'm pretty sure none of this ever happened in SeaWorld, not at least in the one in Orlando.
No,
But
they may have in fact filmed it at Weeki Wachee
probably
Springs.
did. I mean,
Parts
they
of
were
it
known
anyway.
for their water skiing shenanigans
Yeah.
and whatnot. So like all this is happening, and like they're doing human pyramids, like on water skis, and it's like good times at SeaWorld. And then it's like, all right, let's slow down and like introduce some of these characters, and we find out Dennis Quaid is Brody's son from the original Jaws.
Uh-huh.
Like I said, we're introduced to Lou Gossett Jr. We kind of meet everybody, and then I guess just because they're like, I don't know, the Brody's had 2 kids. His brother comes to visit him,
Yeah.
and his brother, like, despite being from Amityville, which is in like New England, and going to school, I believe they said in Colorado,
Yeah, he's going to college in Colorado.
he's suddenly somehow a cowboy, like straight off like out of Texas. I don't
Because they're cowboy types in Texas, sure.
He's everyone
Yes.
in this movie is vaguely Texan. It's strange. It's like
well, that's why I was saying, 'cause I think there's a SeaWorld somewhere in Texas, or was.
they never established where this movie takes
There's
place.
one in San Antonio, I think.
Yeah, I
That's
thought there
not
was
near the ocean at all.
no, it's not.
Yeah, look, I mean, there's enough detail in this movie that you can piece together. This movie does take place in Orlando, so I think it's just
SeaWorld San Antonio.
Hollywood filmmakers going, well, it's in the South. Everyone in the South talks like a hillbilly cowboy, so let's just give everyone vague accents. But yeah, why the other brother comes down and also has an accent, and who knows? But so like Louis Gossett Jr. is prepping this park to open and
Right.
wrangling press people and stuff like that, and that's when this other dude shows up, this Philip Fitzroyce guy, who's I don't know, like a world adventurer documentary
It's
filmmaker.
really never clear what his actual job is.
It's like he's mentioned at the beginning, and someone's like, "Oh no, not him!" And then he like shows up, and everyone and all the media is just like, "Oh shit, it's him. He's cool."
Right.
And
He's like one part the hunter guy from Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
One part like Jacques Cousteau, and one part Steve Irwin.
Yes, exactly.
Because
yeah.
it's like it's never really clear. Does he just take things pictures? Is he an environmentalist, or is he a big game hunter?
He's not an environmentalist. I can tell you that.
Well, except for there's one line where it's like, why did you ram that Japanese whaling ship? And it's like, okay, was he like one of those people who's like, fuck you, kill,
Greenpeace. No, but he says they got him. They got in the way of my shot.
Sure, I know. It's just it's very unclear exactly what his job function is, except that he's the the cocky British guy.
Yeah, I think he's just
cocky, not cockney.
Yeah, he's just a headstrong media guy. Just I'm on camera. I'm super famous. Look at
Right.
me. So he's there. Leah Thompson is one of the water skiers, and
They just basically like make her a character so that
the younger brother.
yeah, well, it's like,
Brody.
oh, she's pretty, and the little young the younger brother needs like a love interest.
Yeah, so why don't we get them together?
Right.
So the younger Brody brother is like, I don't want anything to do with the water.
Of
So
course.
they-
Well,
they
they
give-
kind of both are. I mean, like Dennis Quaid, like is like riding around on watercraft, but like is very clear about like I'm not actually going to get in the water.
Yeah, but so they give a little bit of backstory with those two. They kind of establish the war. It's like, yeah, well, we lived on Amity Island and things went wrong, and so hope that shit doesn't happen again because here we are in Florida, Texas, wherever. So
So it was filmed
In Orlando.
in SeaWorld Orlando and in Navarre, Florida, which is near Pensacola, which is near Alabama.
oh,
So that's why
so
why
they
all
just
the
got
rednecking.
I see.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Plus Pensacola, which
Yeah,
is,
Pensacola,
Yeah.
the butthole of Florida.
so it smelled good.
Yeah.
Pensacola, BMFcast alum.
Pensacola, it smells like decay. Pensacola.
Yeah. So they've got like this. They've got a lagoon where they do all the water skiing.
Oh,
and
also, there's your drinking game if you want to die.
fuck, they say lagoon a lot.
Yeah.
And they say it in weird ways that make you want to say other things. But
Like legume.
yeah, legumes. Are you allergic?
Laguna Matata.
Yeah, all the things. There's a gate that leads out to the ocean, wherever the fuck that is, and I guess they just let the dolphins out of the park into the lagoon every once in a while, and there's a filtration thing that comes into the lagoon or whatever.
Yeah, well, it doesn't. All right, it doesn't make a lot of sense because they have this gate, but they very clearly established that the lagoon is fresh water.
Yeah.
So
Wait, what?
they established at one point that it something about it wouldn't work about pumping. They were like, "Oh, we can just flush the shark out because like," and then they were like, "No, it won't work. The current's too strong because the lagoon is full of fresh water." Which is like, if it's
no, they were
the
pumping
ocean,
not fresh water, but fresh,
Like fresh
new
from the
water
sea
from the
okay,
sea.
I was hearing
New
not
seawater.
salt
Yeah.
water, like
Yeah.
you know.
They were not marine experts.
No.
Okay.
No, they meant delicious new water.
Everything,
All right.
everything is
Okay, recycle.
Laguna your tatas.
Yeah.
It's fine.
So
Fine.
there's this gate where the dolphins come in and out, and apparently at one point a shark is just like, well, there's sweet, a gate.
I think they were. It was the gate that leads out to the ocean from the lagoon, though, that was busted.
Okay.
I don't know why, because plot.
They're closing the gate at some point and it gets stuck, and that's when like I think the shark was coming in
Yeah,
because it.
I don't know why they had the ocean gate open though.
Yeah. You know why
They dumb.
because
That's why.
who was gonna no sharks are gonna come in here. But anyway, so shark comes in, and spoiler alert, 2 sharks come in actually.
Oh.
So but we don't know that yet. We just know that there's a shark that's made its way in because like one dude goes down to fix the gate and is spooked by all the different fish who are sneaking up on him horror movie style for some dumb reason.
For a dude that is underwater a lot, he was very skittish.
Oh God! He's just anytime like a fucking clownfish went by him, he was just like, "Oh jeez," and he's like, he was the big
found
like, he was like the big muscular Magnum PI dude. He was, you know. So, anyway, shark eats that guy,
Yeah.
which pretty much doesn't matter
Bah.
for like the next half hour or so because like his girlfriend's like is just accosting Dennis Quaid all the places, just like, "Where's my cheating man?"
It's like, you know, he dies and it's like it's quitting time.
Yeah.
Because they're all like, well, we'll go fix the gate, but it's going to be overtime. He's like, nah, just wait
do it
for
on
it
the
tomorrow.
clock, yeah.
You know, do it on the regular clock. And so, like, I guess the guy was like, nah, I got to go close the gate.
Right.
You know, whatever.
Because
He's, you know, giving 110% and all that.
every important underwater task in this movie takes place at night. It doesn't make any sense, but it happens in every instance of we've got to get underwater and do something. Let's wait till nightfall. So he goes underwater at night to fix the gate. Shark comes by and eats him after he's scared 8 times. So yeah, they go to the local watering hole. Shenanigans.
Well, that's the guy that got 8. His girlfriend is a waitress there,
Yeah.
and she's all Pat Benatar'd up, and like she comes over and is like, "Hey, if you see, I think he's messing around with that gift shop girl or whatever. If you see
that little thing at,
Yeah.
at the gift shop."
yeah."
And
So
he's
they're
like, "No, he's a good guy. He's, he's
you
probably
know.
drunk in a slump somewhere."
and it just becomes shenanigans. They drink and stumble out, and Leah Thompson goes out with the take the little brother home, who's, like I said, is just super Texased up. He's got a cowboy hat and cowboy boots, and she's like, "I got an idea. Let's go to the beach." And
like,
of
"Nope."
course, it's like stripped down to bikini. He's like, "Let's go in the water." He's like, "No,
Nah.
I don't do the water thing." So
Water bad.
Here's backstory, and she's like, "Well, I'm Leah Thompson in a bikini, so
Get in this
and
water.
he's like, "You make a good point."
I'll come with you.
Yeah, I'll come with you. So they splash around in the water, and then Dennis Quaid and girlfriend decide to just be in their space because for some dumb reason he has a megaphone and
And a bright flashlight.
a bright flashlight, and comes up. They're necking in the water.
Yeah.
Because why not? If we're gonna be Texas, I'm gonna go with the Texas.
Sure.
They're necking in the water.
That's not a very good M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Yeah. That's better than Lady in the Water. But comes up with the megaphone and is like, "Hey, what are you kids doing?" And
You're trespassing. Get out.
and basically cockblocks his little brother, and
Yeah.
there's shenanigans.
The funny thing is, the little brother, the first thing he says, "It's okay. My brother works here."
Yeah.
Like, no, it's not okay. I don't care if your brother works here. Get the fuck out of the water. But then they're like, "Hey, wait.
Hey, you are
Mike?
my brother.
You."
Ah.
And then, man, they just proceed to fucking tackle each other all over the place.
He gets a good tackle on Dennis Quaid. It was pretty impressive.
I mean, they're like roughhouse. I was like,
It was an appropriate response, though, to be fair.
the script just said, "And now the 4 characters roughhouse," and so they just fucking throw each other around and throw the ladies into the ocean.
Yeah, they do. And
The younger one, I've forgotten their name, speared the other one into the the sand.
Oh yeah, there's a
that's
suplex
right.
in there.
Yeah,
there was a suplex into the water.
One of the ladies got suplex into the water. I'm
Uh-huh.
pretty sure.
Yeah. Now, in the midst of this, two characters who never have any bearing on the story whatsoever have snuck into the lake or the lagoon.
That's simultaneous to the not quite skinny dipping because this is PG.
Yeah. So two burglars have jumped into a raft and are floating around the lagoon, and eventually one of them says something like, "This place has the sweetest coral. We're going to steal it for this dealer in Miami who's going to pay us a lot of money." And they just get in the water and get ate. And then the raft gets eaten too. And that's it for them.
Yep. Never mentioned again. Never find their bodies.
The movie just decided, we need a body count with this.
Sure.
And let's film an extra scene with some dudes in a raft. But man, no one ever finds their bodies. No one ever finds the raft. If those two men had families, I'm sorry. You will never know what happened to your two sons or husbands or whatever they were. But yeah, so that happened. Then the next day happened. I don't.
Yeah, they get up and he's like,
oh right,
he's like basically like, hey, you cockblocked me last night. Yeah, he's like, yeah, I did.
Yeah, totally.
That was my bad.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah.
But you did spear me.
That's the scene that starts where they've got this dog up on this counter.
Oh right. Oh my God, yes.
This husk of a basket hound.
Basket hound, Chuck?
Basset hound.
Basset hound.
So
it was about to be a casket hound, I'm pretty sure.
So the dog is either eating or drinking on the counter, and Dennis Quaid is just holding the dog's ears up so they don't get in the food or water.
Yeah, he's basically like drunk girl holding the dog's ears back.
Yes.
So that it can eat in peace.
Yes. And then they
don't explain it.
They just pick up this slug of a dog and put it down on the ground. It's like, that's barely a dog. Like, that is just some sort of slug thing that they have, and it's never explained what this monstrosity is that they've concocted.
But the great thing, all right, so there's a lot of dumb in this movie, but like that was the one thing I was just like, that actually reminded me of original Jaws. Like, here was this charming little home life that you don't need to explain. It's just a slice of life, and there's weird shit happening, and it's real people.
And hold my dog's ears.
You got this. Poor dog. I'm not for changing dogs' appearances for aesthetic purposes, but trim that dog's ears so it can eat.
You can't trim a dog's ear.
Yeah, they do. They bob ears.
Yeah,
but
this dog was way past the
Well,
point.
I'm saying it probably, if they known that kind of dog's ears have the capacity to dangle past its mouth and interfere with it eating.
Some people just have no problem holding in their dog's ears, man.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
but yeah, that's an amazing scene, and it all serves to just basically breakfast apology, let's go to work and talk about beepers. And so they go to work.
Beeper talk, and
I think this is the first time we actually kind of truly understand what it is their job functions are. Because they're kind of talking about what they're going to do for the day, and
right.
So.
And there's this running thing of Dennis Quaid's going to get this job in Venezuela,
right.
and he could go, but then she can't go.
It's this dumb ticking clock that means fuck all.
It just who gives up their career to be with the other? Blah blah blah.
Do we really love each other?
Yeah,
Should we stay together long distance? I don't know.
Who cares?
Let's talk about it right in the middle of all the people being.
Yeah, they're constantly stopping the important task they're doing to have a discussion about. Hey, should we go to Venezuela? It's like, hey, why don't you focus on the fucking shark?
Yeah, shark first. Talk
Shark
later.
Now. Yeah. I don't remember how the shark presents itself to where everyone's like, oh shit, shark.
Well, I think they meet up with the waitress again from last night, and basically it's like, hey, shitface never came home last night. Tell him here's all his stuff. I don't ever want to see him again. He's like, what? He didn't show up for work this morning either.
Right.
We should probably go look for him.
Oh, okay, right. So they get in the sweet little submarine.
Right. Yeah, they have this little. It's not really a submarine. It's more like one of those little self-propelled or water propulsion things, but because it fills up with water and
you're still encased in it.
Yeah, they still.
It's like a scooter for under the water.
Yes, it's a scuba scooter.
It's a hover around for the underwater.
Right. I don't remember why the hell they.
Well, they're like, okay, if he did go under to fix the gate, the current would have pushed him to the center, which is where the Spanish galleon is.
Yeah, there's a shipwreck that apparently nobody has fucking touched since.
They put it there. They mention it briefly when they're showing the model at the beginning.
So this was
the Spanish galleon.
This was going to be an attraction.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
That's why that mocked up skeleton.
Oh, okay. So I was like,
spooky, spooky, scary.
All right, that makes way more sense because I totally missed that line because suddenly they're in this little thing and they're going by this galleon. I'm like, wait, what? Nobody's fucking taking this for money, and then there's a skeleton. I'm like, and no one's picked up the skeleton and dealt with it.
Totally cool. It's all good.
And they even named it. It was like, oh, that's old Charlie or whatever his name was,
And man, so the skeleton is there with like its bony finger pointing at us, and it's just this movie does this a lot, where it's just like, okay, where's the pointy thing? Let's zoom the 3D camera in on it, so this thing just keeps coming at your face. They do that a lot.
Oh yeah.
But so they are.
But that looked good on the big screen.
Yes. It was interesting, especially...
You're the only one old enough to have ever seen it.
8-year-old me in the theater thinking that was pretty cool. But so they basically park this thing outside the boat. They're like, okay, well, the current would have pushed this guy into this area, so let's get out and look.
Right.
They get out and look, and the dolphins show up. They're like, they're just constantly like making no motions and like,
get the fuck out,
get
shark.
out. We're smart,
Shark.
leave. Yeah. And they're just like, what do you want, dolphin? What's wrong with you? And then that's when Shark is just like, haha, I'm here. So they're like, oh shit, and so
they actually ride the dolphins to safety.
Yes, the dolphins are like, hop on my back, let's go, and so they just grab the fin, and the dolphins are like, fuck this. They take off, get them out of harm's way.
Yeah, and they run and go tell there's a shark, and we should do something about it. It's inside
the way the shark presents itself is it fucking just rams the boat. The galleon, it just full speed like nose into the side of the boat, just smash, and they're like, ah,
yeah, kind of Kool-Aid Man into that
yes,
Spanish
it
galleon.
does.
Yeah.
So they race to get out, and they finally get up on a dock, and that's when the thing smashes into the gate and fucks up the gate.
So there's one other scene, the coral thieves that you mentioned in the theater that one of the biggest reactions was during their scene, because like when they're prepping the raft and about to go out and this steal the coral or whatever, there's a shot of something, and then it's like it cuts over to a frog that leaps right at the camera.
Yeah.
And you said like everyone in the theater,
the biggest reaction in the theater, where people just lost their shit.
Yeah.
I remember that moment for my entire life. Like, my parents and I would talk about that all the time. We're like, man, Jaws 3 was terrible, right? But remember that frog? Yeah, that was dope.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so okay, so they get out and they're like, oh shit, and Dennis Quaid is just like, what was that? What the hell? And I was like, it's a shark. You work there,
right? Yeah, it's
you should know what this is.
Well, they were both like, what the hell was that? It was like,
you've seen pictures, right? You went to school. Similar to that.
Yeah, maybe not quite as big, but still shark-like.
You might have a mural somewhere that has one on it.
Also, I don't know if you know, but Jaws was like a really big movie.
It's very popular.
Yeah, very popular.
Plus,
3 sequels.
Character was in 2 of them.
Yeah.
You have been scarred by.
Yeah, seriously. If there's one person like
who should know exactly what that is.
That's like the Hound on Game of Thrones. Like, what is this fire? I don't understand. I think you'd understand.
Yeah, you totally know, dude.
Yeah.
So, okay, this begins a really weird conversation between everyone as to what to do with the shark problem.
Right.
And there are two there are two ideas that can happen here. One, the British media guy is like, let's lure it in and slaughter it on TV. We'll call in the media and we'll just slice its belly open, and that'll be dope and everyone will love it. And the other's like, no, hold on. There's never been a great white in captivity before. Let's capture it and put it in a cage. And they're the sensible ones. Mm-hmm. That's the weird mentality of 1983, which was just like,
because
put it in a cage.
What our random big game hunter filmographer guy is like, yeah, let's blow it the fuck up. Let's,
they're like,
film it,
let's murder it.
Let's murder it, and he's like, it's full of blood, man. It'll be a great promotion. That we killed.
It'll look great on this 3D camera,
right? And it's funny because like the other side of this, they're not arguing that that's just grotesque. They're like, no, I've got a better idea. Like, they're never like, oh my god, you can't do that. That's horrific. They're just like, wait, hold up, we have an opportunity here. Let's just put it in a cage and sell tickets. That eventually wins. So they plan this whole thing to get underwater and jab it with shit and
Yeah, I mean, and they get
drug
it. They drug it, and the girlfriend Kay like dons like chainmail,
yes,
and kind of gets attacked, but it like grabs her tank and shakes her around a little bit, so she's fine. But
she does have a chainmail suit.
Yeah, she
on.
has like everyone else is like just standard wetsuits, and she's like, nah, chainmail here, and I don't understand, because like her function is not like direct contact with the shark. She's kind of like almost backup.
Yeah, but still, she was the first one to get attacked. So,
but she gets shook around a little bit. But they drug the shark and drag it into like a recuperation tank. It's a smaller tank, and
but there's some good 3D in this stuff, because there are like needles, and at one point Dennis Quaid fires a harpoon at it, which is right at the camera.
Well, the drug, when they're loading it up, like they do the syringe and needle right at the camera, and then to get the air out, they squirt it right at the
camera,
like right under your eyes, essentially.
Just liquid goo right in our faces.
Right. So, but they catch this thing, and it's a shark, but I mean, like
It's not that big.
It's not that big,
No.
and you know, I mean, you know that it's not the shark because it's not that big.
Well, and also because immediately they're just in a tank with it, trying to nurse it back to health. And I'm like, no, if this was fucking Jaws, that thing would be
Right, of
just
course.
murdering all of you.
And yeah, they're like aerating the shark. They got air coming in the water, and like, Kay is being helped by her assistant, and then Dennis Quaid's like, we never hang out anymore, so I'm going to jump in the tank and help you. And if it's the only way we spend time together, I guess I'll just help you in the shark tank.
And that's when the shark is like, haha, I'm awake.
And then Mark Cuban runs in and is like, no.
Yes, shark's very good.
Yeah, sure.
Excellent work.
But yeah, the shark wakes up and it's just like, and they're like, oh, yeah, great, it's awake. And immediately, I think whatever our random big game British guy is like, if you put this thing on an exhibit, you'll draw lots of people. And Lou Gossett Jr. is like, yeah, get that thing in an exhibit like now.
Yeah, this is the first weird whatever the plot needs is what will happen, because Louis Gossett Jr. is basically like, okay, we've got a lot of people coming in, move the shark to a thing and let's let people pay to see it.
Now, the best thing about this is like it's in like one of those like roundabout little tiny little aquariums, like where you could pet the stingrays.
Exactly, that's exactly where it is.
And like this poor shark it's probably a 14-foot shark. It's big, but it's not like a great white. Like when you think great white, it's not great white size.
No, it's not Jaws. It's a baby shark.
But it's just kind of circling around, but the best thing about it is like there's a sign out front that's hastily cobbled together, and it says, "Come see the first great white in exhibit." Or the first great white, and then for some reason they put shark.
Yes.
Like there's a sh, and then shark in big letters.
But this is like written in shoe polish on on just a piece of cardboard or something.
I assure you, we're open.
Yeah, it's like, man, SeaWorld really putting out the money.
Yeah.
It's like,
but like, there's just people just all kind of dumpily like standing around looking at this shark like.
No one's into it. They're all
just like, yeah, it's a shark. Can I pet it? I don't know how this works. So, shouldn't there be stingrays here?
Yeah.
Jellyfish. Do we pet the jellyfish here? I don't know how this works.
Nah, man, you don't pet the jellyfish.
But so this thing's just circling around, and the marine biologist lady is just like, they did what? And is like running over right about the time the thing is like, nah. It just goes belly up and dies.
Yes.
And so she
starts just like, I can't. Stage fright.
Fuck this shit.
Yeah. And just,
I mean, literally this shit. I'm swimming around in my own.
Just rotates 180 degrees like, fuck, I can't go on.
Yeah.
And so they jump in and try to push it around the water. Like, come on, swim, you dumb shark.
Meanwhile, there's 40 people standing around while the poor guide person is like, hey, that's Kay so-and-so or Dr. Kay so-and-so or our marine biologist. And she's, don't worry, don't interfere. She's just, okay, 50 of you just watched the first great white shark in captivity just died.
Yeah. That's sort of a bummer, but hey, exclusive to SeaWorld, you guys.
Water skiing over here, guys.
Check it out. Yeah. So, yeah, she's like, well, shit, they killed the shark. Well, okay, the shark's dealt with, so whatever. But no.
No, then they
open up the underwater kingdom, undersea kingdom, whatever
the series of tubes.
Yes, which are just big glass tubes, and you go under, and the tentacles jump out at you, and barracudas poke out of rocks and shit. So there's all these places where it's just hubs of windows to see fish from around the world, and there's some people in there looking at the fish, and then all of a sudden, finally, the dead guy who fixed the gate, his mangled corpse pops up in front of the window, and everyone panics in a really dumb way because, one lady, there's room to run around. There's no reason for this to happen, but one lady just gets her face pressed.
It's like one teenage girl, for some reason, someone is like, look at it, and pushes her face right up against the glass.
There's just no reason for it. There's
this will be you one day, Becky.
Yeah, so and she's screaming.
Oh, it's just dumb. It's like, what panic reaction leads you to push someone's face up against the glass?
It's like, I gotta get out of here.
Her.
But wait. Look.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they identify the body, and Dennis Quaid's like, no, you don't need to look. I'll check this out. And Dennis Quaid goes and looks at the body, and it's just gross, bloody bugs and shit and worms, everything. And Dennis Quaid just does the perfect reaction of just turns around and just starts dry heaving all over the place.
Right. Yeah, and then of course the marine biologist has to actually look at him, and then it's just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And they go running, and it's like, you think it's just because the guy's so disgusting, but they immediately run to go find Louis Gossett Jr., and it's like he's sitting in there exclusive underwater, like I think it's called like Neptune's something, like
I don't know.
Yeah, Neptune's room.
It's the bridge of the starship underwater.
Well, no,
He's Neptune's pride, right?
He's in like the bar part. It was called like Neptune's lair or something like that.
Yeah.
That was like the swanky bar.
Yes.
Which is another like I said, because everything he does is so like flamboyant. Like he's talking to the bartender and it's like he's like the guy that reaches over and like steals a cherry or an olive from like their drink thing. And it's like, don't put your fingers in there. Like
gross.
Yeah. Anyway, but they come running up and it's like, yeah, we found so and so, and also it would appear that it was done by a bite size this big, which means we're talking about a 35-foot shark,
right?
And all this, and it's just, and everyone's like, yeah, right, come on, full
Get the fuck out of here. Did we? And then we had the shark. Shark's dead.
And then like right on cue, because this thing is like a viewing area bar thing.
Yeah.
The shark just comes right to the window and it's just like, hey,
and they're like, oh shit. Yeah.
So this starts mass panic of.
Well, yeah, because people in the tubes are like, that's a giant fucking shark thing, kind of, that we're looking at in a very bad special effect.
Sure. But I mean, like, Louis Gossett Jr. runs to the control room, which is like, this sweet underwater server room with, reel-to-reel backup tapes and shit. And, it's
underwater NASA going on here.
Super future 1983 tech.
Yeah.
Dennis Quaid goes running out to the beach, just screaming his damn head off like Brody in the first one. Like, get out of the water!
Louis Gossett Jr. immediately, he flips the switch again and is just like, shut the park down, get everyone out, fix this.
Well, he gets on the comms like, okay, ladies and gentlemen, very calmly, we're going to need to shut down the Undersea Kingdom exhibit. Please follow your tour guides and find the nearest exit. And, of course, there's one jackass in the tubes who's like, we's underwater. Where's the nearest place out here? Oh my god! Like one guy, like goes from zero to panic for no fucking reason.
He's like, wait, where's the nearest exit? Oh my god!
So
it's like slow your roll, guy.
It practically becomes underwater, like trampling, like a Walmart opening on Black Friday. But for some reason, like the shark is just like, oh, people are in the tubes.
Yeah, I'm just gonna poke it with my face.
Let me go ram the hamster, habit trail here.
Yep.
And it causes a little leak, of course, and so it disrupts everything. And so all these people get funneled, like about 50 people get funneled into one room as the pressurized doors close. So they're standing in about like waist high water, trapped in this room now.
Yep.
Dennis Quaid is meanwhile, like I said, frantically running across the beach, just get out of the water, trying to flag down the water ski show.
Well, okay, so he runs through like a hula dance thing that people are doing and commandeers a popcorn cart.
Sure.
Like throws the dude out.
Like a golf cart with popcorn, yeah.
But I mean, he just grabs this guy and throws him out of the way and steals this cart, which he can't drive for shit because he crashes it like 10 seconds later.
The very first thing he does is he dumps all the popcorn out of the back.
Oh, man.
Which is funny because about 6 kids from out of nowhere just are like, popcorn!
Just waiting for their opportunity to strike. They're like, oh, sweet, the popcorn hit the ground, free popcorn.
That would be me.
Yeah. Okay.
So and then he doesn't make it like 20 feet in the cart before he overturns that fucker. And
yeah, because he's like, get out of the way, get out of the way.
He trips over like the Shamu strollers that they're running, in a long line. And eventually gets to the beach, and it's pretty funny because like he's frantically trying to wave down this one set of water skiers that are coming right by the stage where he is, and like they could not have stopped and landed in a better spot because like they literally like landed like right at the boat ramp and just like, oh yeah, we're out of the water, what's the big deal?
Yeah. What's going on?
Until like it was like, oh well, that was easy, got all the water skiers out. No, the pyramid people were also set up in formation as well. No, I'm sorry, the ladies in the square dancing outfits
pyramid people.
Well, come on. The people that were in the human pyramid, but no, it was the ladies in the square dancing outfits that were
pyramid
like,
Americans.
They were starting to like do the hold the rope with their feet and turn around.
Yeah.
And so they turn around just in time to see the shark fin is like coming right behind the boat. And of course one of them is like, shark! And causes the whole panic where they all fall apart.
Fall in the water, yeah.
The crazy thing is like they're all fine. Like
they get them all out.
Yeah, they speedboats come out and they're like, whoop, and get them out.
Yeah.
But the problem is Leah Thompson is taking a break with the little younger brother.
Right. They've gone bumper boating.
And which he again had. Now he was just in like at least waist deep in the water last night, but now has to be talked into getting into a bumper boat.
Well, he goes to see her after her show and is like, hey, let's go have some fun. And she's like, yeah, let's go have some fun, right? Bumper boats, am I right? And he's like, how
old are you again?
Okay, let's go do that. So yeah, reluctantly they get in the bumper boats, and there really should not be both of them in the same one, but whatever. But so there's just one like grotesque fat man who keeps like ramming them whenever they try to make out,
and then like drives by and goes like,
I love birds.
Lovebird ding. Yeah.
So at one point, I guess they've broken the bumper boat and they're standing up trying to start it. And that's when he's like, I'm coming to hit you, and knocks them into the water. And that's when the shark comes and attacks Leah Thompson.
Sort of. Like, I mean, it takes us like this. Like one tooth must have touched her because
it nibbles her leg a little bit, much like I would if I was presented with Leah Thompson's leg. I'd be like, nom nom nom.
I hope you
Thank
don't
you,
draw
man.
blood.
You didn't put like a 12-inch long, 2-inch deep gash in her leg.
No. I was wondering where that was going. No, I would not gash her. That would be terrible.
Nope. Nope. But I'm saying this.
We're not going. Okay,
this
we're
thing,
skipping that.
this
All
thing is designed. It has been set. It is set that it has a like a 3-foot wide, bite that makes it a 35-foot long shark.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, like, oh god, they killed Leon Thompson.
Right.
And they drag her out of the water, and it's just like, what?
She has a slight.
Like I've seen 3-foot tiger shark bites that did worse damage than this thing did.
Yeah.
I'm like, it honestly must have like grazed her leg with like the sandpaper skin that they supposedly have or whatever.
Yeah.
Because like it's like, oh, she's fine.
Yeah, she's probably going to be okay. They basically load her in an ambulance, and the younger Brody brother goes with her, and then that's the last time we ever see those two people.
Yeah, pretty much.
They just go to the hospital.
And
So
like this is weird because I mean I want to say like a couple random people get eaten because I think some people like
a couple randos.
Well,
do.
there was like a floating raft, like a platform, like people,
oh yeah,
diving.
there's people out there like, what the hell's
Yeah.
going on? Whoops.
Yeah, because like the shark does the whole crash through the floating platform thing, and I think chomps a couple of visitors
I don't know if
park
any
people.
of them actually get eaten though.
I think a couple people get eaten.
Yeah, there's some blood in the water. I
Okay.
would say, but I don't know. It's all very sort of chaotic, and what I'm saying is like this is a 35-foot shark let loose in a lagoon full of people doing all kinds of water things, and like basically almost nothing happens.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, it's like, oh well, that was lucky that we saw it / saved everyone. Now, granted, the 50 people are still trapped in the the one chamber underwater.
they are, but the movie doesn't act like that's a big deal.
No, because like. They have to have their talk about Venezuela, but then, eventually Dennis Quaid goes back to work and like, okay, I'm an engineer. I got to figure out how to repressurize the tube technology. And
Yes, he's
and-
gonna weld some shit.
Yeah.
Which at first I swear when they showed like this massive welding facility, I was like, they're gonna build a robot Jaws to fight this Jaws.
It did kind of look like a Shatter Dome
Yeah.
situation
It's
that
like,
was going
this
on.
This is the best.
And by the way, Hollywood, we're available to write that movie for you today.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
Jaws 5 versus Mega Jaws or Robo Jaws or whatever.
Sure, any of
I
those.
think they did a Robo Jaws.
There was a
versus
Mecha
Giant
Shark.
Mecha Shark versus.
Yeah, but I think it was
Not
Mega
good.
Shark versus Mecha Shark.
Not like we're gonna
No,
make
of course
it.
it
No,
wasn't good,
no,
but we would make it good.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically it becomes like, okay, Dennis Quaid has a plan. He's
Yeah.
gonna weld some shit, and then like the British photographer man is like, well, while you're doing that,
Yeah, they come together and they figure out where the shark was hiding. It was hiding in one of the filtration systems.
Yeah.
That's why they didn't find it. Not that they've at any point used any kind of sonar in this entire movie.
Nah.
But they think that that's where it was
Yeah.
for some reason because there was a blockage and they're like, oh, that seems about right.
yeah, it was like, oh, you had weird readings. That must be what it is.
Yeah, it was hiding out there.
Yeah, so it's like,
so
we're
like,
gonna go in there and get it.
Yeah, we're gonna lure it back in there.
Yeah.
And so big game hunter British guy is like, live bait. We're going in there. We're gonna hook this thing back in there, close the gate, and we can kill it at our leisure. Woo!
Yeah.
And meanwhile, you Dennis Quaid go down there and do your welding.
You weld.
bits. Yeah.
Yeah, you do some other stuff.
Yeah.
So guy does that, but at some point his lifeline comes undone, and the shark who has this is such an odd sequence of the thing following him into this tube, that this filtration thing that he's in, because the shark is moving like, I don't know, like a Star Trek ship. It
really is.
It's
Like-
very slow and close up and deliberate. And
I don't think we mentioned that he has this his cohort, his cameraman is. I've seen him in other movies. He's a character actor.
He's
dude.
that
You
guy, yeah.
You'll see him from some places.
He's a lot more Britishy or Australian or something.
Right.
He's gruffer. He's not from the fine streets of England.
But because in this plan, he's like, man, this is going to be the footage that sends us into retirement. Like, we're going to retire on this footage.
Yeah.
So we better take 2 cameras.
Right.
Get this from all angles. Like,
yeah.
we are going to lure a 35-foot great white shark to where we want it. So, and
Half the plan works.
His henchman is just like, are you sure? Like, I think you should probably be focused on just the shark. Let me do the filming.
Yeah. It's like, nah.
And he's like, no, we need 2 angles. And so he's like, all right, man, you're the guy. I'll let you do this.
Yeah. So that guy's behind the shark and shuts the gate behind it.
Well, they do they do the blood in the water, and the guy's like clanging his camera to make noise, and the shark's like, I mean, just right on cue, it's like,
sweet.
I like noises and blood.
Yeah. He just shows up out of a cloud like,
Yeah. This model or whatever thing they're using for this Jaws. I mean, it's probably the original Jaws model, just looking pretty ragged at this point in time.
Yeah.
But it's just like its mouth is agape most of the whole movie.
Yeah,
So it's just like every time it enters frame, it's just like, hey guys.
The shark also growls pretty frequently.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
But like
It doesn't roar like it does at the end of Jaws 4, but it's making noise.
yeah, it goes right by the cameraman. It's just like, nah, not interested in you.
No.
But they try to establish it's because the one guy's wearing an orange jumpsuit that it's
Sharks are like bulls that way.
Yeah, I guess that they tried that. That was their explanation in the movie. I'm not gonna debate shark.
Sure.
Shark law is not my thing. I don't know.
No.
But yeah, like it follows the one guy and his cameraman closes the gate behind him. It's like, oh yeah, you got the shark in there. And then, but his lifeline, which is literally a rope that he's tied to this ladder, he's pulling himself back.
Yep.
To this ladder that he can escape the ventilation chamber.
Mm-hmm.
They use like the shittiest like.
It's the worst knot I've
it's
ever
like
seen.
it's like the worst knot and like the shittiest rope you could possibly use.
Yeah, it's like
it's
don't
not,
use this rope underwater.
Well, it looked to me like that really the really slick kind of rope you would use that you could easily untie, not like underwater safe marine rope at all.
It immediately just goes yoink.
Yeah, but he's like pulling himself back, and it just I'm untied, and Jaws has its mouth open because it can't close it, and Guy just kind of enters into it, and then it's like this weird. So they've built this thing for the actor to be in, which is the inside of Jaws' mouth, right?
And it's just kind of, munching him a little bit.
Because like he tries to like stab at it and fight it, but he's in a confined space with a 35-foot great white shark.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the movie doesn't really like show him getting eaten.
No,
it's just like you are now suddenly Jonah'd into the shark here,
right?
And but
feet first, so his head is like he's
Now the great thing about this is, and I'm realizing that because we're coming to the end of the movie, we didn't establish a little minor part of their first plan is that this guy being the loose cannon that he was
the one who wanted to massacre
wanted to massacre it, but he was also like loading up some special grenades for the first go round, and Dennis Quaid / everyone else said no grenades.
Louis Gossett Jr. specifically
he was like no, you will fuck our park up.
No grenades,
we're just going to trank this thing. So that's important.
Yes,
just because it's about to show up. This guy goes in feet first, and I will give this movie credit because no other Jaws movie or any shark movie that I can think of has ever said like POV inside the shark's mouth thing. Not that sharks generally or at all eat things whole like this. But this thing has like anacondaed him down its gullet, and so we see like
it's like the dinosaur in Dinosaur Island, just swallowing that dude whole.
What if he had some sea broth?
Yes, just wash it down.
He was surrounded by sea broth.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just kind of mushes on this guy for a little bit, and then the guy stops moving, and it's still intact, but he's just like, all right, I guess he killed that guy.
Now eaten. So cut to like his friend is now basically like come the long way. Dennis Quaid's been working on the welding, whatnot. His girlfriend has gone down there because she needs to be able to see.
Okay. The girlfriend originally was just going to sit there on the bridge and watch everything happen. Right. So there's a scene where Louis Gossett Jr. is looking out the window, and he just turns around to see what the girl is doing, and she's putting on a wetsuit, and he's like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, he does kind of have that reaction.
Yeah, he's like, what are you doing? And he's like, Dennis Quaid needs another pair of eyes. I'm going to go out there. It's like, this is not the plan. What are you doing?
Someone should literally be watching his back, so I'm going to go down there.
So she goes out through a hatch literally right there in the bridge.
Yeah, like this suite full of electronics, control room,
just
has water access.
It's a hatch. You just open it up, go right in there.
Just doesn't seem like the best of plans.
It's probably not well designed, but ultimately it's not going to matter. But she goes out to provide...
Well, it's obviously not well designed. We were going to find that out in a second.
She's out there...
Yeah, let's wrap up what happened with Big Game Hunter and his friend, because like he comes around the long way, and he's gotten his footage, and he's coming up to where the exit point for that whatever the filtration thing is. He's expecting to find his friend there.
Yeah,
and
like,
there's a couple guys there, and it's like he never came up, and like no one else seems to give a shit that this guy didn't come up. Like
he's not here, man.
Like terrible communication of like. He should probably be out of there by now because I've just taken the long way around, and so he starts this panic. and he forgets all of the stiff upper lip and everything else British that you could possibly think of.
He is like, this man was my lover and best friend of 20 years, and dear God, why aren't you coming out here? Please surface, please.
Like he goes like halfway down the ladder. He's like probably like toe in the water, just like, why?
Yeah.
Where? Oh, where are you?
He's doing it all though with such a thick accent that I have literally no idea what he's saying the entire time.
There was a point where he was just saying so many things at once in such a thick accent. I was just like, God blimey, my mate's going and getting. It was just like, all right,
yeah, you're sad. I get it. Yeah.
But anyway, like he's done. Like we never see him again either.
Nope.
It's just like he's sad about his friend, and that's
the end.
That's the end of him. But so. Shark, obviously, because this park is terribly constructed. I mean, I don't know why anyone was trying to hire Dennis Quaid if he was the architect of this thing. But God damn it! I'm megalo done with you. Anyway, no, like Shark basically just backs up through the gate, which. Well, again...
so it reverses itself through this tunnel it just went through, and then tails up to the...
I'm going to say Google that and have fun.
Yeah, but it gets to this gate that's been locked by the guy. That was the plan.
Right.
But it just starts waving its back tail back and forth to create like this motion, which then is bending the latch...
Right.
That's holding the gate together because the latch is just made out of aluminum foil or some shit.
That's what I'm saying. When it calls for it, when it's called for it, this entire park is made out of the flimsiest materials ever.
It's just whatever.
Because the shark reverses.
Is it ever made out of good materials?
No, parks are never made out of good
probably
materials.
not.
Never.
But like I said,
that's true.
Have fun with Googling can a shark swim backwards and get back to me on that one. But the shark backs up out of this thing. It's free now. Mm-hmm. And of course, because she's now down there, she's like, "Shark, let's get the fuck
she's
out
like,
of here."
"Hey, buddy, this is Shark here,"
and
so they just both go.
Yeah, I jokingly said this was the part written by Richard Matheson because there's just a series of.
It's like, what are you two saying? Neither of you can enunciate anything. What the hell are you doing?
I think there's a point where someone went. These people are mumbling through scuba because I think Lou Gossett Jr. starts narrating a little bit of it.
Yeah, he does.
Because like it's just for a couple of minutes. This is them go.
It's like, what are you two saying?
Apparently, part of the mumbling was, I'm almost done finishing this weld because he did finish that. But again, without any real peril, they swim back up through the hatch and they're safe. For the moment.
Yeah, they get out and they're like, wow.
Because Lou Gossett Jr. is like, all right, you finished the weld, right? Yeah, okay, let's get the people out. Yeah. And that's about the last command he gives because the shark is now looking at the command center, and I don't know. Physics be damned. It just
the shark looks at the command center very hard.
It does.
Yeah,
and then the command center implodes.
Yeah, it's looking at it, and this cutout image of the shark is being pushed through the film as a very slow motion reaction shots of everyone in the room just like, oh fuck. And so then this cutout of shark hits this fake glass thing that shatters, and just this room fills up with water just immediately.
Right. But I this room that was holding back how many millions of gallons of water's worth of pressure
just
done in by a single shark charge,
just poking at you.
It's a big old mean shark.
Well, I'm just saying, like, at least in Deep Blue Sea, they took like several. They were genetically engineered super sharks, and it took them like.
Oh yeah, they were thrashing themselves into that thing.
8 thrashes into it before it finally even started to think about
this
cracking.
thing just brushes.
This thing was just like, nah.
Yeah, just like, here I come. I'm coming in there. So
that's Stone Cold's music.
Yeah, so the room fills up with water. Luckily, our two heroes were in scuba outfits anyway, so they just put those back on.
Right.
The other people in the room, we're just told later, got out.
Right.
Except for Louis Gossett Jr.'s nephew, who has been kind of this this foil for Louis Gossett Jr. just saying random things to make Louis Gossett Jr. mad. But so that guy just floats towards the shark's mouth because the shark it can't get in any further. It's halfway in, but that's as far as it can get.
The physics, besides the glass breaking and like not the entire lagoon emptying into this thing, it becomes a little wonky again because it's like, well, it's full of water, but then it just kind of stops.
Yeah.
Like it's like, well, we've hit the level point.
Yes.
Which doesn't make any sense because it was completely underwater.
Yeah.
Whatever. He's, his nephew is now a blood fountain over there.
Yeah.
He's done. But now they're kind of in, again, like ankle to waist deep water. And
oh no, the room's full.
Were they completely
they're in full scuba masks.
I thought that. I don't know why I thought they were like.
No, that's all completely underwater. So
yeah, all right.
The shark is so the shark is still just kind of stuck halfway through into this opening, and it's just rah rah rah.
Right.
And it opens its mouth at one point, and you see the full intact body of the British man,
right,
with his arm outstretched, holding the grenade.
Well, we only see the end of his body, really.
Well, fine. Maybe the other half is slowly
the other
digesting.
half is becoming shark.
Yeah,
the Sarlacc pit. Or
yes,
shark
exactly. So our two heroes kind of look at each other and go, "Huh, let's do that." So they just immediately go and get a wire pipe of some kind,
right,
and just make it into a hook. And they're like, "Okay, we're doing this. We're just going to reach in there because this shark can't come any closer to us. Let's just get in there and pull the pin, and shark will blow up." Mm-hmm. And that's what they do.
It's a good thing Joan Crawford didn't work there because they wouldn't found that wire hanger right away.
Yes. So pull the pin, grenade explodes, shark just becomes a blood cloud, and then
it's a pretty good blood explosion.
It's a blood explosion that's great, and then they throw all this 3D chunks of garbage at the screen, including literally
guts.
jaws. To the top and bottom jaws of the shark fly out towards the front of the screen.
Jawas.
Yeah. Huh.
Yep. And then I don't know. They
get to the surface of the lagoon.
Yeah. Oh, they become very concerned with the well-being of the dolphins.
Well, at first she says something like, "Do you think everyone made it?" And Dennis Quaid says something like, "Yeah, they all got out."
Yeah, most.
It's like, wait, what?
How
do you even
for
know
the
that?
nephew and
the nephew got chomped, but I guess Louis Gossett Jr. is okay. But because he wasn't in a character that much, who cares?
Yeah.
But yeah, she's like, "Where are the dolphins?"
But yeah, apparently there were two named dolphins that, like, if you cared about SeaWorld in the 80s, meant something. I don't
know.
Like
one thing I read said that wasn't their names at all.
Okay, I don't know. Whatever.
And one of them was like still alive or something because it's like 50 years old.
Oh.
But yeah, so they're like, "Where are the dolphins?" And they just start patting on the water, and then the dolphins are like, "Here we are."
Well, one comes up and is like, "Hey, here I am. Fuckers, I tried to tell you about the sharks, and why didn't you listen?"
There was at one point a scene where the dolphins attempt to fight the shark by poking at it, although one tries to poke it in the mouth, which is a bad idea because its mouth is wide open.
They can't save you.
Yeah.
They can't save you.
No. But yeah, the
Swim
dolphins
as fast
pop
as you
out,
can.
and at the end, like two weird, just green screened, cut out dolphins are on either side of the screen, like some sort of matching frame or something, and then everyone's like, "Hooray!" And then that's the end. The credits book through this thing like, we got to get the fuck out.
Right.
And they aren't 3D end credits, which really, come on.
Boo!
You need
minus all the jocks for no 3D
you
end
have
credits.
to bookend your movie with 3D credits.
Yeah, definitely. Nobody stays for the end credits.
I would if they were in 3D.
All right, sure, why not?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Jaws 3.
That's Jaws 3D.
D.
Yeah. No Stargrove. The music's terrible.
Yeah, no.
They
Done by Alan Parker, but not that Alan Parker.
No. They do credit the shark theme to John Williams, but they use maybe about 6 seconds of it. There's one part where it's like, "Okay, let's do this. Fucking Jaws is here," and they do it for about 6 seconds, and then it's like, "Nah, let's not do it anymore." So, yeah. So ratings.
Yeah. I guess I'll go.
Okay.
This movie's dumb. This movie's really dumb, but it's also really fun. If that makes any sense, which I mean, I guess is what we generally look for. But I mean, this movie is exceedingly dumb in actual real world logic terms. But I don't care. Because it just leans into its own world of physics and marine biology don't mean a damn thing. So I have no idea what I've rated like Jaws 4. It doesn't matter, but I'm going to give this 2 jocks.
Okay.
I think this is a fun little dumb movie. It's like, I would say it's just better than like the barely recommend. That's why I came to that rating. Like, if you can watch it in 3D, I would suggest it. I think that adds a little something to it. It's a little hard to watch sometimes only because this was originally an anaglyph, like red, blue, 3D movie. That doesn't translate perfectly to modern day 3D. Like,
they do a pretty good job.
It's like the Universal logo in the beginning looks like shit, like utter shit. Like I was like, what are we in for? Like, what did they do to this?
Luckily,
transfer?
that was probably the worst of it.
Right, but then like the the actual movie starts, it's like, oh, okay, this looks all right. Now, sometimes when it gets super extreme, like in your face, it doesn't look that great because modern 3D is not really designed for that. It's depth more than shock value.
Well, you never know what to focus on,
right?
And by the time you figure it out, it's like, okay, well, that image is gone,
and your eyes are bleeding.
Yes, that too.
Yeah. So I mean, it's fun. It's dumb. It's fun. Like a lot of things don't matter, but it also doesn't matter by the end. Like if you are a fan of, I would say like this is like, look at this less like you would look at a Jaws movie, and by comparison, look at it more like the Jurassic Park movies, because it feels more like a precursor for that.
Oh, it really does.
Very much, because I mean, it's the hubris of building a park and trying to do too much and all that. Plus, you literally have the template for the hunter in both Jurassic Park 1 and The Lost World, and then you've got super guy save everybody like Jurassic World. I mean, it's kind of like, it's like a weird mad mixture of all three of these movies.
It kind of is a lot
before it happened to
Jurassic World, because they've got the whole control center, and,
right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's like there's a lot of DNA, Mr. DNA of Jurassic Park here. It's weird. It's like it's just strange. But
the only thing is that there's no hubris in this movie. It's not like they were intentionally trying to sell tickets by doing. They were just like, hey, we got a shark here.
It's a little bit. I mean, it seemed like. I mean, maybe I'm interpreting it because of how wacky they made him seem. It seemed like Lou Gossett Jr. was kind of a shyster. Like, I mean,
oh sure,
and I think
a little bit, yeah.
Maybe that's because we've learned what SeaWorld really is now. So like it feels like he's got to be a shyster if he's working for SeaWorld. I mean, I know they were super awesome in saving the environment in the 80s until we learned that Shamu was like in the last scene of Shawshank Redemption his entire life. But once we figure that out, I think there's a layer that can't be removed from viewing this movie now, which is actually kind of interesting because it adds to that Jurassic Park like quality.
Yeah.
It seems like he was actually, to me, he seemed like he was just like a bit of a showman, but also fairly genuine, because when it came time, like when shit started to go down, it seemed like he was looking out.
So did John Hammond though too. I mean, it was like, oh, I fucked. I fucked.
Yeah, he wasn't trying to cover his tracks.
Right.
He was like, okay, get everyone out. My idea backfired.
Right.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have done that.
Unlike Jurassic World 4, which for the most part was like, the show must go on.
Yeah.
Don't look over there where all the people are dying. Anyhow, back to this movie. The 3D is really fun in that sort of campy way that they just don't do anymore because we kind of hate it. But it reminds me of it's not Monsters Incorporated.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Gremlins.
No.
Yes, Gremlins.
But it's a fun, campy sort of 3D thing, and they actually managed to use depth to some pretty good effect, like those first underwater
other
scenes.
than that one completely broken rack focus.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was fucked. Like there was a scene where they were focused on the guy in the back, which it should have changed to, but you were watching the foreground scene for a good 30 seconds, and it was all blurry.
Yeah.
But
like, hey guys, who are you focused on?
Yeah.
Here? Come on.
Shit happens.
Yeah.
But I don't know. This movie reminds me in many ways of Deep Blue Sea as well, but again without the hubris. This is just like, this is more like shit happens to innocent people. Like,
sure.
At least is the way it was framed. Now,
right.
Again, now we know that SeaWorld is kind of, shit. But bad things happen to good people, or at least neutral people. And this is a fairly campy and fun romp through several people's bodies and several hundred gallons of blood. It's way better than Jaws 4. I don't know. Like, it's not great, but it's not bad. I think I have to give this 3 jocks, because I think it's pretty enjoyable. Like, it's goofy. We're laughing a lot. Nothing they do in this movie is terribly offensive, except for a couple of the composite effects shots. Like, I think this was really early on digital compositing, and some of it just looks rough, and there's nothing you can do about that. I mean,
yeah. Yeah, why would you?
Yeah, well, I mean,
someone could.
Sure.
I mean, someone could go do what they did with
Right,
the
right.
original Star Trek series, which looks amazing.
Yeah.
But
they're not.
But they're not going to with Jaws
right.
3.
I mean, there's nothing they could have done about
Sure.
it.
Yeah.
Back in ye old day.
Right.
So it's pretty good. Like I quite enjoyed it. It's definitely. I think I'm thinking myself through a 3 jocks rating. It's pretty good. I would watch this again for sure.
Yeah.
Would recommend. Watch it in 3D. It's dumb.
Yeah. If you have the means to watch it in 3D, by all means do that, because
Buy a 3D TV so you can watch Jaws 3 in 3D.
they're clearanced out at this point. You can get one. That adds a lot to this movie because it is kind of the gimmicky early years of 3D where it was just wave stuff in the camera and have stuff fly out at the camera. The depth stuff is pretty good too. It all looks very good aside from like the couple of shots we were talking about where you can't focus right on what they want you to, but it looked great to me, and I was expecting it to look like crap. So I was impressed by the quality of the print. I was impressed by how much the 3D held up. So that above and beyond helps sell this movie. The pacing of this thing is god awful. Like it's really, if you boil it down, it is barely a Jaws movie. There's so much just not Jawsing happening.
There was a point where we were like, when's the shark going to actually eat somebody? Because normally it's like first scene.
Yeah.
It eats a fish first.
Yes. Yeah, it does. That's the first victim, is a fish that keeps talking to us as as the movie begins. But yeah, the pacing of this thing is terrible, and none of the things that they're doing instead of the shark stuff are that interesting. Like the world building they're doing is not very interesting at all. And it should be, because it's building a theme park, and it should be like super cool. You should be like going in and out of stuff like, hey, check this thing out, check out this stuff over here. So I don't think it's going to necessarily hold up for repeat viewings close together. Like I think you would have to put some distance between this, like watching it again.
Yes.
It wouldn't be fun to be like, oh man, in a weekend I'm going to show this movie to so many people, because man, I would be napping by like the second viewing. So with all that being said, I'm going to give it 2 jocks. It's dumb with your buddies, especially with the 3D on, but I don't want to knock the 3D element of it. That's a quality element of this movie to me.
It adds something like good 3D should. Drive Angry was more fun because of 3D.
Yes, some movies really, really benefit from it, and this one was kind of a dull, nothing movie, but they threw this gimmick on it and just poked you in the face with dumb, horns and needles and other pointy things, and it's like, okay, that, there were several times in this movie where I was like, okay, stop with the thing in my face. That's unnerving to me, and that helps sell this movie. So, yeah, all the Jaws movies they go down as they were made, and clearly now 4 is the worst of them because it doesn't even have. We had a good time watching 4, but that was just because we were like, okay, the shark's going to jump out of the medicine cabinet, right. all that shit, and we kind of had bits of that in here, like when everyone's trapped in that little bubble room. We were like, oh, the shark's going to pop out from that large pool of water and stuff like that. But
things that just wouldn't make any sense. But
but
we're
it's fun,
expecting them, like Deep Blue Sea.
Yes, exactly.
Deep Blue Sea was the king of that. It's just like, there's no way this is in the room, but of course it's in the room because it's more fun for the movie.
It's under the bed. Here it is. So, yeah. 2 jocks. You should definitely see it. And if you do, get it on Blu-ray, watch it in 3D.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
I think we're done talking about Jaws 3.
Yeah, we're done talking about sequels.
Yeah, for now.
Okay.
Let's take a break.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Then
Then we'll do a sequel to the first half. Yeah. What the hell are we watching next week?
Yeah, what did I watch?
Aerovision 3D.
I feel like I watched something. And I think I keep forgetting to use Letterboxd again now.
You should use Letterboxd.
No, I should, because it makes me remember.
That's what I use. All right, then.
I'll figure it out in a second.
Okay, cool.
Filming at Turkey Lake Plaza. That's where that bar was.
Oh. Where's that? Find it.
It's up to you.
I want to go there. Bye. I'll just keep entertaining the internet. Interneting. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Get it.
Remove my garbage can full of soda here.
Oh, I didn't talk about the film thing, the screening. I didn't talk about that.
Screening?
Yeah, they had a screening for for Group C. Yeah.
No, I think last time you just talked about
doing it, right? Yeah, you talked about the making. You didn't talk about the viewing.
Oh, you are getting fat. Goodness gracious.
Stop eating all the food. Fat cat.
Oh, you're talking to the cat.
Yeah.
The internet.
Come on. That's what you're supposed to do,
get
cat.
us some hits.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, check that shit out. Our views just triple. Oh my god, it's cat.
It needs to be the
Screen grab.
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
Proof that I'm good to animals, right here.
Is
No. That's how I'm good to animals. I don't let Chuck go.
Nope.
Jesus.
All right.
You have to get out. You have to get out.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Get out.
No, this is home. I'll take that too. So you do have to stay here.
You do have to go home, and that place is here.
I have 3 things.
Jesus, Chuck.
Yeah. They're all quick.
What?
Shut up.
What? What are we
Fan.
shutting? Huh?
The fan.
It's fan. Yeah, it's fan. It's fine. You can't hear it.
Oh, I was gonna say I can't hear it. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, ba-dum, bum. You just now watch Roar? Didn't we send that out like a long time ago?
Damn it, Kyle.
Damn. Come on, Kyle.
Come on, Kyle.
God damn it, Kyle. Kyle.
I will probably see Independence Day.
The new one? Well, gee,
Yeah,
At some point.
I
yeah.
probably will see Independence Day also at some point.
y'all have fun.
When
I
is
mean, maybe some point, like in the zero effort time frame.
When is it coming out? Is it coming out on Independence Day?
It should be out next weekend, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. This summer sucks. There's something. This slate for summer movies this year is bad.
Wait, what? Why?
Yeah.
How do you? Okay. I don't know how you figure that, but all right.
I'm unsure about the Independence Day movie. I'm
Oh, fuck
unsure.
that.
I'm unsure about Star Trek. Other than that,
Oh, I mean, I feel like you're discounting. You're talking about from now forward.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
The past was good.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about the past.
Okay. So you're like
felt
a
like-
shark. You can't see behind you. It's
Right,
just
exactly.
Always
I just
forward,
feel
never
like
sleeping.
last year we went to a movie every week for like a month and a half straight, and it was all stuff we
Well,
were super stoked about.
I went to a lot of movies this summer. Already.
No, I know. I'm saying I did.
Some of them I were a little. I mean, like I was a little disappointed with Popstar, but I mean, I think that's maybe just because my expectations were like hot rod level. And
Yeah.
I'm coming around. I'm definitely coming around on the soundtrack. Like, there's one song I fucking love on that soundtrack.
There you go.
So good.
Yeah.
Two Banditos.
Oh.
The song is so good.
Two Banditos from Elevator?
Huh? Yes. But
Or is it the sequel to the Refreshments song, Banditos?
you lost me there.
Wow.
Is that the Friends people?
Wowie wow.
Or that was
Maybe it's the
was that the
Replacements.
Replacements?
Jesus, I can never keep those two straight.
Those were the Rembrandts.
Were they?
I don't know. I always get those
They're
two.
the teeth whitening people?
Yes. Also a painter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's the Refreshments. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm
Off
talking
of the
about
album Fizzy Fuzzy Big and Buzzy. What?
I just that made me kind of want to vomit a little. the title, something about the onomatopoeia. I don't know, not onomatopoeia. Whatever the je ne sais quoi of that sentence made me want to vomit a little.
The alliteration.
Yeah, no, it's not even that because it was all different letters. I think
It's all the Z's.
Yeah, probably.
Fizzy Fuzzy Big and Buzzy.
Okay. Let's do a second.
Yeah, it's all right. It's down now. It's just
You get it.
it was
back
it was
down.
in
Fizzy Fuzzy Big and
it
Buzzy.
was kind of like an alarm going off. I just was like instead of screaming, I was going to vomit.
Oh,
so,
you're just
yeah.
screaming, yeah.
Y'all are going to love hearing about that if you're Patreon
Yep.
patrons.
And hopefully it came out without too much background bullshit. Because sometimes that happens. No, sometimes it's fucking unusable. Like when we were outside at Sonic, that was unfucking usable.
I agree.
Unless you wanted to, hear us podcast in a Class 5 hurricane. Yeah, it was.
That sounds great.
Yeah, it was good. So good.
Pretty good.
All right, I have one new movie to discuss.
Okay.
And then that's it. So let's do.
Do I still have the newest movies?
Well, technically. Because they were just made.
Well, yeah, I guess, sure. All right, welcome back.
Hey!
BMFcast.
BMFcast.
Second half.
Half number 2.
Yeah.
So I think we've watched some movies for a change.
Yeah. A couple things.
Some things.
Yeah.
We usually plan this ahead of time, but how new is your stuff?
Fairly new.
Yeah, so is mine.
2016 movies.
I think mine was either late 2015 or 2016. But go ahead, start up.
Okay.
Maybe I'll break yours up unless you're going to just rapid fire.
Mine are all super
Okay,
quick.
rapid fire.
Rapid fire. First of all, either last week or the week before, someone had sent us that link to that thing called Skinamax.
Oh, okay.
I attempted to watch that.
Yeah?
It's a well
It's called
edited.
Skynmax.
Oh, okay. Well, it's a well
Skinamax.
edited thing of clips of things from the 80s and 90s that someone really liked, and it's just a bunch of random, like, here's a clip from Transformers, here's a clip from Addams Family, here's a clip from, and it's all just set to music. There's no natural sound from any of the clips. It's something like you would see
So
in
it's like an anime music video from the 80s?
kind
but
of
with no anime?
Yeah, you would just like see it in a nightclub somewhere on like nostalgia night, just some clip reel of a bunch of stuff set to music, that kind of thing. That's all it is, really. I watched about 7 minutes of it and was like, okay, I get it. I'm not watching this for an hour, but
I might watch that then, because I was afraid it was like Mr. Skin the movie. That's
no. It doesn't appear to be anything like that.
Okay.
The thing is that it kind of seems to be broken up into segments, and each segment only has 3 source material things.
Okay.
Thank you.
So it gets repetitive, and if there's something in there that you don't have any frame of reference to, or something that you don't like, it keeps cutting back to things from stuff you just don't care about. So, like the Addams Family movies, I give no fucks about those things, and so they just keep showing these clips of these, and I'm just like, okay, what that has to do with this next clip of the Transformers, I don't know, but it's not an official thing. It's just some guy's thing, so I'm not feel good about critiquing it. It's just some video on the internet. Who cares? So yeah, that's what that thing is. So it wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be, but it has some skill to it. So good on him. I watched Deadpool which, everyone likes Deadpool. I like Deadpool too.
Okay.
Yeah, I liked it. There were some parts that I think everyone has sort of mentioned that maybe they needed just a little bit of a break from Ryan Reynolds at some point to just kind of not be the adorable fuckhead that he's being the entire time, and maybe take one thing seriously. And there's one scene in the movie that he does take things real seriously. I wanted a little bit more of that, just a touch. I didn't need like half the movie to be serious. I just needed a little bit less of the dick jokes and
a little skosh, little taste.
Yeah. But I will say that something I didn't expect from that movie, which was that is probably one of the most realistic and convincing relationships I've seen in a movie in a very long time, conveyed with very little time. Like their bonding scenes, them like getting together and being a couple.
Oh, okay. I was like, really? Because I've never had one like that. Random montage of crazy sex acts that they're doing.
No, I believed that these two people wound up together, and it seemed genuine to me.
Sure.
Like it seemed totally, wholly genuine to
worked.
me. Yes.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's just, okay, they smushed two stars together, and it's just like, okay, you're
Right.
now supposed to believe these people like each other. I believe that those two people liked each other. Like, probably they were fucking in the in the trailer during between takes or something.
God, I hope not, because never mind.
Okay.
There's already some weird gossipy shit going on with her anyway.
Oh, well, whatever.
She kind of left her husband for the guy who's on Gotham.
Oh, well,
Because they're having a baby.
okay, well, that
Yeah,
happens too.
so.
But I don't know. Their chemistry seemed legit. So if it was just acting, my God, you guys are good actors. So good on you. The other thing I watched that I don't think anyone's talked about yet is Zoolander 2.
Ooh, I know somebody who's going
I
to
was
talk
about
about
to talk about
Zoolander
that too.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, that was my movie.
All right, well, why don't you go ahead and start us off, and then I'll correct you. No, I'm kidding.
I doubt it, because
All right.
All right, so I like Zoolander a lot. I don't know that I'm quite in like the love camp. It's awfully close. Like, to me, Zoolander has a lot of funny shit. The first one has
Yes.
a lot of funny shit in it. It's not quite like Anchorman. It's not quite like Talladega Nights. It's not in that pantheon of, I guess I'm lumping it as a Will Ferrell movie, but it's not completely fair to say it is. Maybe it'd be better if it was completely Will Ferrell movie is what I'm saying.
Okay.
So like, it's good. It's I really like Zoolander. It's just like, it's not one of those holy properties that don't ever dare remake, sequelize, do anything with it. I was like, all right, it's a little late, but let's see what Zoolander is all about here. It's like 90% a fucking mess. Like, it's like, there's some funny stuff in it, but like everything about it just feels off. Like nothing. Like, I can't put my finger on it. It's like the whole movie feels disconnected from itself and from like other parts of the movie. And I mean, it almost feels. And this is going to sound a little harsh because but I think the general consensus is about the Netflix season of Arrested Development. It felt kind of like that.
Yeah.
Where I was like, are these people like, were they even like together?
Right.
Like, because that's just how disconnected it feels from scene to scene.
I get that.
And I understand that like movies are filmed in different parts and different times and whatever, but like this movie just felt painfully obvious where it was like, but the crazy thing about it is I guess it just shows the cachet that like Ben Stiller still has in Hollywood, because holy fuck, like how does he get the people that he gets to show up in these things? Like this movie, more than like almost any other movie I can think of, was just like, here's another person in a really small weird role, and it's like, why?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, cameos are fun and funny. Like, I mean, I think that's what kind of killed the Austin Powers franchise eventually. It was just like, it's like, let's throw another cameo or another stupid character or whatever, and it's just like, this felt like it just jumped in from like the kind of funny of the first one to like, you're just like in like fifth level sequelized movie already in the second one. And it's like, there's stuff to like about it, but man, it's just like, by and large, it's totally worth skipping. Like,
Well, I agree with your assessment. It does feel like the Netflix Arrested Development season. There is something off about it. It seems more like a collection of ideas than an actual film. But then on the other hand, this movie doesn't look cheap either. It looks like it had a budget. Like there's some dopey CG jokes in this thing that are executed fairly well. There's the bit in the trailer of Will Ferrell taking off his jacket, and he's just this giant, jacked up muscle roided dude.
This is what's weird is like this was actually one of the first movies I never saw the trailer other than the original teaser where he was just like Zoolander,
Right,
you know, like
yeah.
that was the only never saw actual footage from the movie trailer.
Well, that scene is in the trailer,
Okay.
and that effect works. It's pretty seamless. It doesn't seem, pasted head onto someone else's body, which is another gag in this movie. That one doesn't work nearly as well, the Fred Armisen thing. But I don't know. I found myself laughing a bit at this, and then I know a lot of people don't like nonstop cameos. I think they feel like it's lazy, but some of them were so good that it was just like, well, that's part of the comedy and it's making me laugh, so I'm enjoying this. Yeah. There will be inspired cameos. Like I think the one main cameo that always pops up with Owen Wilson is, for me personally, very good because he is kind of giving me exactly what I want based on another character that he plays.
Okay.
But also in a totally ridiculous way. So his constant appearances kept making me laugh, but then they will do a bunch of just ridiculous shit, and then just a door will open and random celebrity will walk out like, what the hell's going on in here? And it's like, that's the laziest shit.
I was pointing out more of the fact that like somebody would like practically walk by in a scene,
Yeah.
and it was like, wait, wasn't that? And like, believe me, I don't know current shit. I don't know anything about fashion, but I understand all those people were actual fashion people.
Yes.
Like Tommy Hilfiger and stuff like that.
Right.
And but like there was one scene where like even my limited amount of knowledge, somebody walked by and was like, that was Ariana Grande, right?
Yeah.
And it was like she literally like walks by, says like 2 words, and then like walks out of the scene. I'm like, I don't know much, but I'm pretty sure that was that famous girl, right?
Yep.
Who I had to ask why she was famous.
Yes.
I'm just saying that's how out of touch I am, and even still, I was like, how?
I was like, oh, I know her, but why?
Yeah.
And where'd she? And she's coming back? No, all right. There were like people in crowd scenes. Like there's one of the runway shows. There's people there watching it,
Right.
and there will just be a shot of famous people looking at this, and that's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, some of that stuff worked for me. Some of it didn't. This is literally a Chuck Fine movie to me. It's like, you know what? This didn't offend me.
Sure. I'd say it's better than like the Vacation remake, but I mean, it's like it's more watchable than that. I mean,
yeah, the Vacation remake was frustrating,
but I still say the Vacation remake, as bad as it is overall, had higher points of comedy.
I think you're right about that too.
Because like that's what's weird is like, it sounds bad as like much as I feel like I shat on that movie.
Yeah,
it had higher points of comedy than this is just kind of like
this has jokes
mild
that
little
hit
bumps along the way.
The Vacation does have higher moments, but Vacation has a mean streak to it that it doesn't need. The Vacation remake seems like 5 years too late. Like it seemed like it would have made like around the time that everyone thought The Hangover was super dope. If it had come out then, it would have been huge. But now people have like, man, fuck The Hangover. That shit sucks. People have just kind of moved on from that.
Sure.
So, but
I guess. I would say if you're already cold on it, you're probably not going to warm to it. But if you're curious, I guess as you said, it won't offend you. It's not that bad. It feels like all right.
It's fine.
I mean,
there's only so much you can do when you can't expand on the main premise of your movie, which is that these two people are stupid.
Right.
There's literally nothing you can do. It's just, okay, these two male models are dumb, and now it's 20 years later. Go. Right. It's like
I just felt like the funniness of the world that they created in the first one just wasn't properly recaptured.
Yeah.
I mean, there was something super charming about finding out that models were the secret league of assassins and things like that. And, and David Duchovny explaining it all, and then being like, "So what happened?
Yeah,
seriously, guy, I just told you." Like that's one of the best lines of the movie.
I tell you what, though, the David Duchovny character in this movie, the like secret hooded like guy behind everything kind of person cameo, was, I don't know, that made me laugh my ass off every time that happened. It was just like, why is this person in this movie? Should not be. And that the house that they established for that person in the opening scene is so dumb. So there are jokes in this where you're just like, okay, yeah, that's good job, but there will just be it's just the highs aren't as high, but the lows aren't as low either. It's like, it's never like, oh god, fuck you in that joke, get out, set your print on fire. There's nothing like that. It's just like, oh well, yeah, you're stupid, so I guess you would say that.
Yeah,
it's weird.
I think I maybe hold it to a slightly higher standard because I feel like there's no reason this shouldn't be as good or better, or at least as good, just because it's usually with a sequel, you get some people removed from the original. This is like same writer. I mean, it's Ben Stiller directing again. It's like, you made Tropic Thunder. That was funny as shit. Like, like what happened? Where have you been?
It just seemed like they were like, if you can make Zoolander 2 in the next 9 months, you can do it.
Sure.
And they were like, oh shit, we don't have a script. Just write shit that just go.
Yeah. Say dumb things.
Yeah.
Go.
So
mispronounce words.
Yeah.
Go.
I needed more Justin Theroux in this for some reason. He was not in this enough for my liking. He was his character is pretty good too.
All right.
I kept sending my wife pictures of people when they would show up because she was like, I have no interest in that. And I would keep sending her pictures. And then she was like, wait, is that? I'm like, yeah. She's like, I have to watch this movie now, don't I? So, yeah. Zoolander 2.
Yep. It's Chuck fun.
Yeah, there's worse movies.
I think we're done.
Mm-hmm. Are you done? Oh, okay. Was there not a third? I thought that was the second of...
I counted The Skinamax as a movie I watched.
All right. I just wanted to make sure you got all your stuff in.
I'm good.
All I had was
all you had was Zoolander. Yeah. So I guess I'm going to ramble for a few minutes about the 48-hour film project.
Right, thing you made.
The thing that I made.
Uh-huh.
So we had the screening of it.
In a theatre?
In an actual theater.
Man.
We have a small indie theater called Sunray Cinemas. A little plug for them down here. And it's a pretty cool little theater, and they show some popular stuff, show some indie stuff. They expanded to a second tiny theater that's this 30-seat theater. It's pretty neat. It's a good place. I like it. And so they did the screenings for all of the 48-hour film project Jacksonville.
How many were there?
Entries. There were 36 total.
Wow.
36 total entries. So
it had to be 7 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so they did an A group, a B group, and a C group. And ours was in the C group. Mm-hmm. And so we got to watch 7 other peasant films before we watched our masterpiece. And then we had to watch 4 other peasant films after our masterpiece. Mm-hmm. I'm kidding, of course. I was surprised at the fact that so many of those films that were in our group were able to convey a story in 7 minutes. It was, to me, really difficult to get everything, and I don't even think that we did that good of a job. We did okay. We got our point across, but we didn't get the depth of story that I wanted to try to get. But I'm amazed that people put together, everybody put together a mostly coherent movie in 7 minutes and did it in 48 hours. I know a lot of those people had done it before, but there were obviously some people who hadn't. And I was kind of blown away at the fact that it wasn't the train wreck I was expecting.
Right.
And
do people bail? Do people just get to the editing process and we can't assemble a thing, or do they have to assemble something?
I don't know. I don't think you have to. I mean, you pay a nominal fee. It's I think it's $100 or something like that.
Okay.
It's a fee that I guess helps
it funds
sustain itself.
Yeah. It funds it, and it also keeps people from just entering and not doing anything like that. So
here's my 7-minute film of me farting.
Right.
I call it ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not just someone's YouTube video.
Yeah. And there were some surprisingly really, really, really good ones in our group. They kind of ramped up the quality level of the films as the night went on. So the first few films were okay. The next ones, they were a little better. Yeah, they kind of went. They just got better as the night went on, and ours was, like I said, ours was the 7th. Yeah, 7th, maybe 8th. I don't know. So ours was at least in what I like to consider the good half.
Okay.
So I feel good about that.
Awesome.
There were some films that had really good special effects, and some films that were really clever. There was one about a time traveler that I thought, a time traveler from the 1800s that comes forward into the modern era, and it's almost like a little slice of life sort of. It's kind of more a fish out of water than our film was, but it was just really cleverly done, and they filmed it, of course, all in black and white, or mostly in black and white,
Of course.
and like just that gimmick they managed to work really well. There was one that was supposed to be in the style of an adventure serial, and it was an oddities inspector, and this she gets a pair of glasses that allow her to see how people are going to die.
Oh.
And they managed to tell a pretty good quick story with that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a sci-fi one called The Third Night, which is incredibly creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that was the last one they showed. It was just super dark, and like it was the one that had the best effects. Like they had some like facial prostheses that were super effective.
Prosthesi.
Yeah, prosthesi.
Prosthetics.
I guess
Okay,
prosthesi. Yeah, that's probably should use the right
Yeah,
word.
yeah.
And I was just like, I just cannot believe that there are people out there that, that are that good, that just kind of hang out and don't do anything better. Maybe I'm just surprised that they haven't, that they're still doing, little tiny.
Sure.
As
film
maybe
festivals
someone's
like
slow
this.
rolling, building their demo reel. Like
I guess so.
I can hang out a couple years and go to school, so I have a backup job, and
Yeah.
at the end of it, I'll have 4 films and blah blah. Here you go.
I guess so. I know that somebody came down from came up from Orlando to do it. So they came up to Jacksonville, stayed here for 2 days, and then submitted their film and went home.
Oh, wow.
Then came back for the premiere or the screening, I guess.
So were there prizes?
There were not prizes that night. They had they gave you a sheet where you could vote for 3 films for the I guess fan favorite. I did not get the results of that, although I do not assume that we won, but I also assume that we won.
Okay, good. That's the way to live right there.
Right.
Schrodinger's film.
Right.
I'll never know if I don't see the results.
Right. I'm just going to tell everybody that we won.
Okay.
But if you win the, it's judged by a panel, and if you win in Jacksonville, then you get entered, or if you win in your city, then you get entered into the national, and I think the winner of the national takes their film to Cannes. So there's potentially a pretty fucking awesome prize.
Yeah.
But,
So do you take your final product to the next step, or do you have to make another movie?
I'm pretty sure you take your final product to the next step.
Okay.
You may, I imagine you get maybe you get the ability to clean it up a little bit if you have the opportunity, but I think it's just your final product.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. But it's fun. Like I was super nervous about seeing A, myself, and B, my product on the big screen, but after it was over, I was super excited, and I just could not I couldn't believe that I had managed to take part in something that actually A, got finished, and B was on an actual movie theater screen. That felt really cool. There was something else I was going to say. I have forgotten what it is.
Huh.
But yeah, I mean, it's a really awesome experience, and if you have something like that nearby and you're at all interested in doing it, you definitely should, because it takes up a weekend. It's going to be stressful, but you don't have to have a ton of super specialized equipment if you just want to put something on film, and it doesn't have to be crazy and elaborate. In fact, the more simple you make it, the better you're going to be off. So do it if you can. 48-hour film project.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I am a filmmaker now.
Okay, buddy.
Yeah, settle down now. Go back over to the craft service table. Shut the fuck up. No, I mean, I was gonna say it's pretty amazing now that we have little things in our pockets now that record 4K video, and it's like not even a thing anymore. Like it's so easy.
Yeah, we were.
I mean, it's that easy. I mean, and if you want to, I mean, that's video. You could make a rig that would steady it. You know, it's got some image stabilization generally in your phone anyway. But I mean, you can make a poor man's Steadicam, buy a little adapter and have real sound going into it too. I mean, it's so easy to make a nice looking film now.
Well,
with very minimal effort.
Let me throw this at you.
Technically speaking,
they like the 48-hour film festival gave us to use if we wanted, and gave anybody that was participating. So they had up to 36 of these little Steadicam phone rigs.
Oh, cool.
So it had a gimbal and
sure. Yeah, so basically
a gyroscope.
Literally anyone could do this.
Yeah, and we recorded on iPhones, and we were going to actually record in 4K, but
it just makes editing slower and harder.
Yeah, the editing software crashed every time we tried to
super big.
Every time they tried to test edit.
I mean, if I could go back to me in my 20s and hand myself this phone, the phone that I have in my hand right now, my career path would have been totally different.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because when I was in my 20s, I'm shooting on high 8, editing 2 decks together with like this weird like graphics processor to put in titles and had an audio board and just all this janky ass bullshit cobbled together from mail order catalogs to produce some bullshit video that me and my friends made that took like 6 months. And we were like, oh man, this is going to go places. And then you're like, well, what can I do with this? And now I could just run around with my phone, do everything, and have it online in 30 seconds later.
Yep.
I mean, I want to make that movie of going back to myself in my 20s and handing myself a phone and just being like, here, the world is now your oyster. You are going to be the baddest ass person ever.
Hey, don't forget the charger.
that would be the punchline. It's like, oh shit, I forgot the charger. Womp, womp,
well,
credits.
make one good movie.
Yeah.
Also,
you've got an hour.
Also,
Go.
invent USB so that you can get the things off of the phone.
And oh, by the way, there's no cell signal.
And there's no email.
You don't need a cell phone. I mean, I'm just saying, like, you need.
No, but there's no Wi-Fi. I can't upload this thing. I can't get it off the phone.
That's the funny thing. You could take the phone back, and it would be novel. Somebody go, oh, look, it makes a picture. And you'd be like, well, it can do a ton of other stuff. Like it can shoot video. Oh, okay, so it's camera.
Right.
That's really nice. And you'd be like, well, it can download porn right to your phone.
Yes.
Right to your hand. And they'd be like,
now
show
you're
me.
talking.
Yeah.
And then they'd be like,
yeah.
It's not doing anything.
See, yes, exactly. I just think, like, if there was a bubble that you could, like, you teleport your phone back to yourself, and the bubble exists to where it has all the modern day charging and Wi-Fi and all that shit, I think people would look at that and be 10 times happier than they are now with this technology, where they're just like, eh.
Yeah.
I'm only getting 90 meg download.
I mean, I'm not trying to burst the tech bubble here. No, I mean, like, because there's other problems. Like, you would do that and you'd be like, yeah, you just shot some 1080p video, which I know you don't even know what that means yet. But then you'd be like, all right, edit that on your 200 meg hard drive.
Yeah, I know.
Shit.
Yeah. Where's the coax out on this thing so I can see it on my television?
Right.
Yeah, does that have S video?
Yeah.
So it looks better.
Oh, S video is too expensive. I can't afford that.
Yes, video.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, most people nowadays, they don't use your phone. I mean, go buy a $1,000 SLR camera because you can interchange lenses, and you basically, all you need is the picture, and then you grab the same thing, like our little portable 4-track thing.
Yep.
And you've got sound. I mean, shit, and a slate, and you're good to go. Just like movie style, sound and the picture are separate, and you put them together later.
Yeah, I will say if you're going to do something like that, invest in a low cost, not a micro cassette recorder or one of those voice memo recorders, because that doesn't fucking work. Ask me how I know.
How do you know?
Because it didn't work for us.
Oh, okay.
But get yourself, something like that. It's a Tascam.
Tascam,
What is it? DP100.
$150 little SD recorder it's got 2 built-in microphones and 2 XLRs on the bottom.
Yep. And you can even buy yourself an inexpensive shotgun mic. You can get a Shure shotgun mic for under $100.
Get a mixer and put clip on. Use little lavalier mics and hide them on your people. That's the best way to get. That's the best sound you're going to get.
Yeah.
It's so easy and inexpensive these days, comparatively speaking.
Yeah. So, just make sure that you have your sound sorted out and you have a decent way to record sound, because
shoot mostly indoor until you learn what you're doing.
Yep.
Yes.
Don't work with kids. Don't work with animals.
Nope.
And
Don't work with your friends.
Yeah. I mean,
Actually, do work with your friends.
Well, a lot
'cause
of people
it's
say
fun.
don't start with something with special effects. I say, nah, fuck that. Like, that's one of the first things you should get into. Like, but that, I mean, no, I
Just
say that.
dive right in and learn.
Yeah,
how
dive
to,
right in. I mean,
learn
like,
how
I
to do
mean, you know, I mean, I'm sure Sam Raimi made a short film or two, but I mean, like, Evil Dead, like, that's the shit. Like, buckets of blood and gore. Like, if that's what you're into, like, special effects it the fuck up. Like, you're never gonna have as much fun doing it ever again than the first time. So you might as well, you know, capture it. So that's my philosophy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get your sound right. Mm-hmm. Dive head first.
Yeah.
You can do it on your phone.
No kids, no animals. That I promise you, do not want that.
Right.
No. In fact, I don't think any of the movies had children.
No, not for 48 hours. That's a death sentence.
Yeah, that's...
We had a teenager in ours, but like she was along for the entire process and was interested and like
That's good.
she wanted to help.
Oh yeah, I mean,
and wanted to take part.
Some of those children people develop a cognitive brain at like 12 and beyond. So
Yeah.
I'm saying below that is where it's like there's no fucking way, you know, unless they're asleep and you're stacking Cheerios on their head, that there's no way it's working.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Is that gonna about wrap it up?
I think so.
Yeah.
All right.
We just need to tell people how to send us things.
Ooh, send us emails to bmf@bmfcast.com, and Mackie will be back eventually to read those with a plum.
What about a pair
APLOMB.
of vocal cords? I mean, a pair of vocal cords.
Yes. I'll give you a pair, you son of a bitch. So you can leave us a voicemail if you give a ring to 910-5-JOCKS-BMF. That's the Garfield phone, the BMFcast hotline. Or you can catch us on the website at bmfcast.com. And you can give us some of your sweet hard-earned cash at patreon.com/BMFcast.
Yes.
Right.
Drop them dollars on us. Make it rain.
Make it rain.
Dollar bills, y'all.
We gots to get paid.
Right. Well, I think that'll probably do it, right?
Yeah. Farewell sequel month.
Well, let's get out of here.
Okay.
I'm Harlow.
Mackie's not here.
Right.
Where'd Mackie go?
He'll be back.
Okay. I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And this is BMFcast out. Mac, you'll be back next week. Maybe. When we learn how to reanimate corpses. Doot, doot, doot. Doot, 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 doot.
Just a jackknife, as old Mackie's been.
No.
And he keeps it out of sight.
Nope.
What? No. All right.
All right.
I love how much he hates my Mackie is dead joke.
Yes.
He hates he can't stand anything that repeats.
No.
He can't stand anything that repeats?
Yeah.
He can't stand anything that repeats.
So what you're saying is if things repeat themselves, he does not like that.
If something happens more than once, he can't stand it.
Huh. But can he stand for things occurring on multiple occasions?
I think the problem is when something that has happened before also happens again.
Right.
That is when he's upset.
Redundancy is unacceptable.
Multiple instances of redundancy.
All right. I'm bummed that he didn't show up to see his lower third joke that was supposedly going to make him angry or something.
I didn't watch.
Ah, well.
Because he didn't want to hear me tell everybody he's dead.
again.
Yeah. All right. Good night, everybody. If you missed anything that we said, rewind back to the beginning and listen better.
Just hit rewind.